shiny, I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder, and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral disorder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass. partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. In whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder, and my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder and proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass asexual polyhedral dice hoarder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to another installment of Higurashi When They Murder. As always, murder! As always, I'm here with David and Kayla, helping me out voicing.
Hey, I'm Kayla.
I'm David.
And together they are Kayla and David.
Hey.
I mean, you're the one always introduces us as Kayla and David, alright?
Yes. No, I mean, because that's your names. I mean, if you wanted to be named something different, I don't judge here. What should I call
Hey, like,
you? You told me nothing else. Anywho, yes, we are back trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in Hinamizawa. We're back on the first of the answer arcs, Miyakashi Hen, or the eye-opening arc. So, last we left off, fuck, what happened last we left off? So,
Fuck, what did happen?
Yeah,
Didn't Shion get tortured?
Oh yeah, Shion.
Yeah, Shion ripped her fingernails
No,
out.
there's a reason. Okay, so first things first, Shion had to save was trying to save Satoshi. Yep.
Yeah.
Who was about to be interrogated by the cops and probably break under the pressure because it's Satoshi and he's a bean. He is such a bean. So she wanted to protect the bean, and by doing so, she outed herself as not being Neon, and made an alibi for him. So that obviously got her in trouble with her family, and she had to go face the consequences of her own actions, and had to rip off some fingernails, one for herself and one. Well, I guess technically one for each of the people. No, it was one for each of the people that helped her. So one for Satoshi, one for her uncle, and one for Kasai, her bodyguard. So
But she didn't get to Satoshi's.
no, she couldn't do it
I don't
herself
know.
at least, so someone else did it for her.
No, those are the first two. I don't think that the third one ever got done.
No, the third one got done. They just held her down to do it. I'm pretty
I thought
sure.
that was just I thought that was just fixing the first two.
I know she did 1.5 basically. She did one. Then
She botched the second one.
she botched
I
the
think,
second
and,
one.
like,
They had to do the
passed
rest
out
for
the
her.
grade.
I thought they held her down to fix the second one. I didn't
They
think they did
did.
the third one.
I don't know. They might. I'm pretty sure they did, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure they did the rest for her.
Either way, pain, horror,
Yes,
blood,
a lot of
gore.
pain. She woke up. Kasai was getting her some food, and then then had the whole situation with the festival. Oh, I mean, the situation with the festival technically happened, and then that happened, and then. Oh, thanks for the lurk, Daniel. Thanks for stopping by. Then found out from the cop that Satoshi went missing.
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
Right, she went batshit.
Yep. The bear was gone. But
Oh, teddy bear.
yeah, the bear that he was trying to get for Satoko is gone. They're not sure if he purchased it or not because the person running the shop was old and senile.
You really shouldn't be owning a shop, but yes.
Yep. And then he took all the money out of his bank account and disappeared. And someone matching his description was spotted leaving for like Tokyo or somewhere out of town. But we're not entirely sure about that. There's the new Dr. Who said, "Oh, nice. Enjoy." So yeah, there's a lot of speculation and not sure what the fuck happened to Satoshi. So, Shion
Sounds like
is
this entire story, yes.
Shion is most probably pissed off about that and wondering if her family was involved, or assuming that her family was involved somehow.
Yeah, I think that was the assumption that was made at the time.
And that is mostly, I believe, where we left off. So now we have to deal with the aftermath of Satoshi going missing and Shion losing her love interest after protecting his ass. So yeah, let's get started with that, shall we?
Do you want to start? You want me to start?
Why don't you start?
Okay.
We'll hope for the best here. I hope it works out
And
again.
now I get to speak this entire time, and you don't get to speak at all.
It's how it goes. What did you say?
This is information from a reliable source. It appears that they found the murderer of Satoshi-kun's aunt.
It had been a few weeks since the murder. Satoshi-kun still hadn't been found. I had no new information on his whereabouts. Kasai's report came, as a result, completely out of the blue.
Does that mean the police arrested the culprit?
Seems that he confessed during his interrogation regarding another case.
That sounded strange. If it was Satoshi-kun they arrested, he wouldn't have worded it that way. It sounded as though Satoshi-kun was the culprit.
Kasai, who's the culprit?
So it wasn't Satoshi-kun? I swallowed those final words. I was convinced that it was Satoshi-kun. The police in Oishi, or ACAB, must have thought it the same way. The reason ACAB approached me is because he was convinced that Satoshi-kun did it.
Don't worry, it doesn't seem like it's Satoshi. I heard it was a lunatic who was aiming to continue the series of mysterious deaths.
What? A lunatic? What do you mean?
Sai shrugged.
I don't know. Since the investigation is classified as a confidential case, The information I can get is limited.
Confidential? Why?
To prevent the village from developing a bad reputation. You don't see articles about kidnapping while the police are negotiating with the culprit, do you? It's something similar to that.
Come to think of it, I hadn't seen anything about the aunt's murder on TV or in the newspaper.
These strange deaths have happened 4 years in a row now, on that day of Watanagashi. There are those who try to make light of it. And now this lunatic who confessed the aunt's murder said he did it in imitation of the series of mysterious deaths. Ah, is this one of those copycat killers I hear about?
Da-da-da.
Because I didn't know anything else. So instead of probing him further, I reviewed the information myself. I was really shocked to learn all this. I was convinced that Satoshi-kun killed her. I thought that was the reason he had to disappear. But it was actually some lunatic who killed her? And he had no relation to her aunt whatsoever? So Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with the murder? If so, why did he disappear? I couldn't accept that this lunatic has killed the aunt. And what's really strange is the phrase Kasai used. 4 years in a row now. After all, I've been thinking that this murder happened because Satoshi-kun had been in a dire situation. And nothing to do with the series of mysterious deaths. I felt as though Satoshi-kun's case had become somebody else's. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Satoshi-kun's case had become one of those mysterious deaths. In other words, Satoshi-kun's case had become a part of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't like the way that sounded. Because it was as though the curse had swallowed Satoshi-kun.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to confirm the tip that Satoshi took a train to Tokyo. We don't even know whether or not he's in this prefecture, to be honest.
ACAP broke the seal on a new can of instant coffee.
I thought you knew his whereabouts already, since you seemed very convinced he was the culprit.
You got me.
ACAP chuckled and poured a cup of coffee, which looked far too hot.
You have some good sources.
Huh?
It's a highly classified case, but you already have this information. I wonder who leaked it. Looks like we need to review our security precautions.
ACAP smirked. Seemed he knew why I was here today.
I'm one of the Sonozakis, after all, and my ears are open.
I smirked back at him. It's all about bluffing.
Anyway, since we're friends now, why don't we have a chat?
Let me ask you first. Who's the real culprit? I heard he was a lunatic, but what does that mean?
I don't know how to answer that question. I want to know the answer myself. Really, I was convinced Satoshi was the real culprit. It was rather surprising for me, too.
ACAP threw himself on the sofa and crossed his hands behind his head. He looked up the ceiling and smiled wryly.
Suddenly received a phone call from the prefectural police the other day. They said that one of the guys in detention confessed to the murder of the housewife.
Who is it?
He's a crazy dopehead. He's been in and out of prison for drug abuse. His statement says that he was interested in the series of mysterious deaths and wanted to imitate them.
Are you sure he's the real culprit?
I didn't interrogate him myself, but prefectural police tells me he has information that only the real culprit would know. He seems to have thrown the murder weapon into the Oji River. We're searching for it right now. If it's found, his statement will be solid.
Even if the weapon wasn't found, would the case be closed?
Probably. Statement clearly outlines the state of the crime scene and the body. This information, like I said, covers details that only the actual murder would know.
You don't seem quite convinced.
I do love how he's sharing confidential information to a teenager.
Yep.
Cool. ACAB, still looking up the ceiling, went quiet.
As a matter of fact, the dopehead was already dead by the time I got their call.
Dead.
You know those spoons that are forked at the tip? They use those at the detention facility. Stoldy swallowed one and choked on it. They couldn't tell if it was a suicide or if it was caused by some mental disorder.
I imagine somebody swallowing that spoon and gagged.
So the... Wait, no, is that... Nope. Yep.
So the investigation hadn't been done that thoroughly. Although I'm not convinced. My superiors are. I think with that, the case will be closed.
ACAB turned his eyes from the ceiling to me. He looked serious.
This is just what I personally feel, okay? So please keep it between the two of us. I believe that this lunatic is some kind of mistake. Is it just continually playing that, like, discordant piano riff?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Because it's ACAB, and that's just his theme song.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fucking with me, honestly. That's, like, getting on my nerves.
Oh, yep.
Might be either a big misunderstanding caused by a chain of coincidences, or, you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I still believe that the real culprit is Satoshi Ojo.
Oops. All right. You sound confident.
Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything to prove he was at the crime scene. We obtained a warrant to search his house after he disappeared, but we still found nothing.
But you still believe he did it?
Yes.
I wonder how you can be so sure even though you don't have any evidence. It's incredible. Is that supposed to be like the hunch of an experienced detective?
Yep. It's the hunch of a guy who's been in this business for several decades.
ACAB smiled in satisfaction, but I didn't feel relieved.
Where did Satoshi-kun go?
His disappearance convinced me that he was the culprit. If he wasn't the culprit, there'd be no real reason for him to disappear.
What if the murder actually was done by that lunatic and Satoshi-kun's disappearance has nothing to do with it? In other words, what if Satoshi-kun disappeared because of the Sonozaki family didn't like my relationship with him, and he has nothing to do with the murder?
Satoshi-kun a culprit? Or victim? The reason for his disappearance had become unclear.
I don't think they'd bother to make one person disappear just because of an undesirable relationship. What do you hear from inside the Sonozaki family? Do you know anything?
I wouldn't be here if I did.
You're right.
ACAB laughed out loud while scratching his head, and after he stopped laughing, he leaned over.
Alright, how about this? Why don't we make a deal? A gentleman's deal.
A deal? On what?
On information about Satoshi's disappearance. If you find any information like that, you tell me. And I'll also provide you with information if I find any. Do we have a deal?
That sounds too convenient for you.
ACAB chuckled.
Shion-san, I think if we leave things as they are, they'll conclude that the lunatic committed the murder. If that happens, Satoshi's disappearance will be treated as just another runaway minor. They won't search for him as actively as before. But I will continue searching for him. Only I will do it. I believe you're intending to do the same.
Our motives are different, though. I just want to know if he's safe. But you'd like to arrest him, wouldn't you?
If the murder case was considered solved, Satoshi would be free. Regardless of his innocence.
I doubt that.
ACAB chuckled again, but his smile didn't reach his eyes.
Well, let's be friends from now on. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, no?
I'm not opposed to the Sonozaki family, though.
Oh, really? I apologize then.
This is the way of Kurado Oishi, huh? My assistant Kasai said I wouldn't want him as my enemy, my ally, because both would be too risky. I probably shouldn't let my guard down in front of this big fat weasel.
Damn.
I sipped on the coffee to fill up the silence, though I wasn't thirsty. Outside the window, I could see a normal life taking its course. But Satoshi-kun wasn't there. He should have been there, but he wasn't. I was scared that I might grow used to his absence someday. Where was he?
I wonder how Satoshi-kun is doing.
I hope he's alright.
I know you think he might be dead. Don't patronize me.
Do you know what people are calling his disappearance in Inamizawa?
Huh?
They say that he was demoned away.
To be demoned away means the same thing as being spirited away. It's part of the local dialect.
He was
He was kidnapped and taken to hell through the bottom of Onigafuchi's swamp? That's ridiculous.
Anyway, the series of mysterious deaths has struck for the 4th time. It's too soon, but people are already talking about next year.
Are you saying that the murder was a result of Oyashiro-sama's curse?
The victim was one of the Hojos, after all. She was involved in the Dan conflict, though indirectly. Really, it's not surprising that some people take an interest in the incidents, because they do always happen on the day of Watanagashi.
That's ridiculous too. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
When I said that, I couldn't quite wipe away the fear from my mind. Why did Satoshi-kun disappear? Was it the Sonozaki family? Did he run away from the police? Did he really kill his aunt in the first place? Why did he even disappear? He's on his own. Oyashiro-sama's curse has nothing to do with it. But... That's strange. Satoshi-kun and Oyashiro-sama's curse. Somebody once mentioned those two together before. When did I hear that? Ah, that's right. That rainy day.
Rena.
It was Rena Ryugu who told me that when we were taking shelter in that shack.
Ah.
I remember the creepy story that she told me at that time. Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa and run far away, even if only unconsciously. That's what Rena Ryugu said. Ren had definitely pointed out that Satoshi-kun wanted to leave Hinamizawa at the time. She also said, everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. She said that for sure. She had definitely mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse. The series of mysterious deaths has struck 4 times. Was Satoshi-kun be controlled by the curse? Is that why he killed his aunt and was demoned away? No way. That can't be true. Satoshi-kun's smile faded away in my mind.
Satoshi-kun disappeared. Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Not only that, the reason for his disappearance also disappeared. It must have been something done by a human being. I can't accept that he was demoned away.
Notebook, page 43.
Ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Alrighty. Are we just time-lapsing through stuff now?
I'm trying to remember where this is. Oh, the library.
Ooh, library. I moved from one chair to another because the air conditioning was too cold. Can't relate. I moved with my notebook and my pen case with a bunch of keychains and my cup of milk tea. I did it all in one go. I sat down in a new chair, opened up my notebook again. I scribbled my thoughts and sank into silence. The series of mysterious deaths, dubbed The Curse of Oyashiro-sama, I've been viewing each incident as a separate case, even though it was followed by one another. I've never looked at all the cases as part of one big scheme. After I wrote down all the incidents on paper, it became clear to me that all of them served as the same agenda. I wrote down the victims. The first year, the construction site manager. Second year, Satoshi-kun's parents. Third year, the priest. Fourth year, Satoshi-kun's aunt. For the fourth year, one could consider Satoshi-kun himself to be the victim, rather than his aunt. If I consider that each case arose from the grudge over the dam conflict, it's quite simple. In the first year, the construction manager was killed because he was a symbol of the dam construction himself. Of course, the real enemy was the Ministry of Construction, but it wasn't as clear as a target. The manager, on the other hand, had been aggressively shouting back at the villagers, so he was a more appropriate enemy to attack. If Oyashiro-sama had really cursed someone, it would have been the officials from the ministry. It's apparent that the target was selected based on the villagers' preference. Second year, the accidental death of Satoshi-kun's parents. It said that they fell from a cliff in some park, but staff thought that was really an accident. His parents were labeled traitors to the village because they sided with the dam construction, even though they were also from Hinamizawa. The Hojo family was ostracized during the dam conflict in order to prevent further pro-dam activists from rising up. That means the Hojos were necessary during the conflict to play the role of the traitor. So when the conflict was over, they no longer served any purpose. The construction site manager was a symbol of the external enemy. The Hojos were a symbol of the internal enemy. Those people fell victim to the curse. It seemed that the grudge of the conflict over the dam conflict had ended. Yet those incidents were followed by another one. The third year, the leader of one of the 3 families, the priest Furude, suddenly died of an illness with an unknown cause. His wife drowned herself on the same night. She seemed to have left a note that said she was sacrificing herself to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. Whether it was a fatal disease or suicide, the deaths looked suspicious. Mian admitted that the Sonozaki's family didn't like the priest's attitude.
Are you back? So way behind in my murders. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're dealing with a lot of shit. Welcome back.
They didn't like how the priest had been generous towards the pro-dam activists. Priest wasn't quite a traitor, but he was certainly uncooperative. Looking at these incidents, I realized that the curse was performed based on the degree of hostility. Enemy, traitor, and dissident.
Yep.
This meant that the curse was actually payment. It was a punishment for criminals of war. In the 4th year. I didn't understand this case at first, to be honest. At first, I believed this case was separate from the other ones, even though it occurred on the same day. I never thought there would be any relation to the other 3. But when I wrote it down and looked at it objectively, the victim is a relative of a traitor. After enemy, traitor, and dissident, relative of a traitor doesn't sound too odd. It comes naturally as a 4th target. On the day the villagers worship Oyashiro-sama, their guardian deity, the criminals of the damn conflict have been punished by the curse. Just like how I was forced to pay at the Sonozaki's house, the criminals were made to pay as well. After writing these things out, I started thinking that the 4th incident might be in line with a series of mysterious deaths after all. Whether it was Satoshi-kun or the dopehead, it seemed like they were forced to play the role of a murderer as a bigger part of a bigger scenario. Even if Satoshi-kun was the real culprit, even if he killed his aunt because of an ordinary grudge, the murder seemed synchronized with the grand scheme of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, which is a payment plan for war criminals. The murder was the result of his pain, but what if somebody planned that as a part of the scenario?
Dun dun dun.
For instance,
Request interface, will I understand the proper nouns tonight? All of them have been replaced at this point. That's fair. Well, I mean, we tried at least to replace.
New ones.
There hasn't been new ones. Like we always
No.
like.
Mostly
We've been pretty
ACAB.
consistent on them, except for Ivan and ACAB got added a bit late, but like
You kind of know who they are based on the the voice,
yeah.
and
Not true.
ACAB is the
There's
cop.
no
So
nuance. It's just
It's
ACAB.
ACAB is the
and Ivan.
only major cop character in this.
Yeah. You're safe. You're safe.
hopefully,
I mean, relatively. For instance, somebody might have suggested to him to kill his aunt on that day, that night, at that place. I had no doubts that Satoshi-kun decided to kill her in order to protect Satoko. But did he really reach that conclusion on his own? Is he smart enough to actually do that? Satoshi-kun was optimistic and somewhat detached, as far as I know. Would he even really consider murdering his aunt, even if it was to protect his sister? Couldn't it be possible for somebody to have chosen the aunt as a 4th year's murder beforehand? And they used Satoshi-kun? And Satoshi-kun was eliminated because of his connection with them? Looking at it that way, the murder of the 1st year resembles this case. The main culprit behind the case hadn't been found yet, dead or alive. The other culprits testified that their fight had turned into a slaughter. But wouldn't it be possible that the main culprit had manipulated the situation? What if he had been told to kill someone on that day, that time, and in that place? I'm certain. The first murder resembles Satoshi-kun's case very much. So, did that mean Satoshi-kun was being controlled by somebody else? ACAB presented me with a hypothesis that the Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear, or to end my relationship with the murderer. But when I read the notes I wrote down, his disappearance didn't seem too spontaneous. It seemed like a part of a bigger plan. Since I'd unexpectedly gotten involved in that plan, I had to be separated from him. Then Satoshi-kun was demoned away, as planned. At first, I also believed that the Sonozaki family made him disappear because they didn't like that I was in love with a member of a family of traitors. But something didn't add up. Something felt strange. I wasn't the reason for his disappearance after all. Even if I'd never met him in the first place, Satoshi-kun was supposed to kill his aunt in June 1982, then disappear. At one point, I had been thinking of taking revenge on the hag. I believed that she separated us. But What if my relationship with Satoshi-kun had nothing to do with the disappearance? What would that mean? Who made Satoshi-kun disappear? I need to understand the series of mysterious deaths in order to solve this mystery.
I picture Shion as that meme of standing in front of like the wall with the different red threads, red yarn connecting everything. The board, just pointing at it.
Like there's this and this connects to this, this. What did all these deaths mean? Who was behind them and what purpose did they serve? I wanted to know the purpose, the motive, and who was responsible. Who took Satoshi-kun? I wanted to know if he was still alive. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called Oyashiro-sama's curse. What is that curse? Specifically, what kind of god is Oyashiro-sama? What blessings does he bring and what punishments does he dole out? I wrote down my thoughts in the notebook. What's Oyashiro-sama? What is he? I scribbled these things down. I was so absorbed by it that I didn't realize somebody had been standing behind me, watching me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from gasping when I realized that. Oh, creepy girlfriend, someone!
Hello. I didn't expect you today.
Damn. I'm sorry. Did I startle you?
The intelligent-looking woman giggled.
No, I was just a bit surprised. Sorry about that.
She could have apologized a little better, too, since she'd been watching me from behind. But she just stared at my face instead.
Are you Shion Sonozaki-san? You must know Sis since you know my name, but I don't know who you are.
Being twins is a pain sometimes. People you've never met before can tell exactly who you are.
I'm sorry. The Sonozaki-san I know would never be seen in the library, so I assumed that you were her twin sister.
The woman giggled again.
Well, you're right. I'm Shion Sonozaki. Nice to meet you. May I ask your name? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first.
She seemed to love her own hair, because she kept running her fingers through it boastfully.
I'm Mio Takano. You can call me Mio. Shion-chan.
I think you mean I'm creepy girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on,
It's been a
Flint.
while.
Redo
Shit,
it, redo it.
Yeah, okay. I'm creepy girlfriend. You can call me creepy, Shion-chan.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Nice to meet you, creepy-san.
Her condescending attitude bugged me. I hate meeting people like this. I closed my notebook and got ready to leave the desk.
Oh, are you upset? Thank you for your concern. I like to be alone when thinking, so I'm moving to another spot. Excuse me. That's a shame. I thought we'd be good friends. Did you? I don't think so. I finally met someone with the same passion, a fellow researcher on Oyashiro-sama's curse. I think it's quite unusual to meet someone like that.
It's on my notes. My face reddened.
These are just theories. It's all nonsense. Just childish scribbles. The series of mysterious deaths is also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. Though each death is an independent incident, all of them clearly share the same purpose. Each year someone dies of the curse, and someone else is sacrificed and disappears. What? What are you saying all of a sudden? Someone dies and someone else... what?
I was taken aback by her weird spiel. But I realized right away that she said something extraordinary.
Didn't you notice that the number of victims is always even? Haven't you realized that yet?
The number of victims is always even? I was confused, but I tried to figure out what that meant. The damn construction site manager died in the first year. There was only one victim. In the second year, the victims were the parents of Toshikun, so it was 2 people. In the third year was the priest. And if her death was also planned, his wife. 2 again. And in this year, the 4th year, Satoshikun's aunt died and Satoshikun went missing. If Satoshikun's disappearance was planned, the number of victims were 2. It's true. Except for the first one, the victims always came in an even number. 2. Wait. I just concluded myself that the first case resembled the 4th one. The main culprit was still missing. Might have been demon away, just like Satoshi-kun.
See? Doesn't it make sense now?
Creepy-san sounded like a teacher who showed me how to solve a difficult math problem. I wasn't quite convinced, but I couldn't deny what she said either.
Did I give you enough hints? I really would have enjoyed a conversation with you, but I think you prefer being alone. I'm sorry that I wasn't respectful, Creepy-san. Please call me Shion.
Seemed content that I'd changed my attitude. She kept giggling for a while. She didn't seem that reliable. I didn't want to be acquainted with her for too long. But I don't get to talk to people very much, and what she said interests me.
Let me introduce myself again. I'm Creepy Girlfriend. Call me Creepy. Pleased to meet you, Creepy-san. I'm Shion Sonozaki, Mion's twin sister. Please call me Shion.
Took the hand that Creepy-san held out as a sign of reconciliation.
Please tell me more. You said that there are always 2 victims? One dies due to the curse and the other one is a sacrifice. Shion-chan, before we get into that, could you tell me why you became interested in this?
I leaned over and looked into my eyes. It was kind of uncomfortable.
Creepy-san, how much do you know about me? I guess you have an idea if you know my name. I don't know much, just that you recently returned from a boarding school. I see. So I think you can imagine that I want to know about the series of mysterious deaths that happened while I was away. I'm just curious. I see. You're curious, eh?
I got the impression that she knew about what happened to Shoshikun and me. Because she was instantly recognized me as Shion, not Mion. I didn't know why I thought that way, as she shouldn't have access to the sources that, for instance, ACAP does. It was just the look in her eyes that made me think that way.
Let me ask you a question this time. You called me a fellow researcher of Oishiro-sama's curse, didn't you? So why are you researching the curse? You also stated that there's always an even number of victims in the mysterious deaths. It's true that Hinamizawa's mysterious deaths are often called Oishiro-sama's curse, but why would you delve into the mysterious deaths if you're researching the curse itself? Shion-chan, you're asking too many questions at once. I can't tell what you really want to know.
Oh, I couldn't say anything in return. Maybe I've been too inquisitive.
I'll answer your questions one by one. I'm not just researching the curse, as my subject is much broader than that. I'm researching the history of Onogafuchi village. In plain terms, I'm researching the dark and ancient history of Hinamizawa. Onogafuchi village? Isn't Onogafuchi the bottomless swamp some people believe is connected to hell? And what dark history?
I kept asking questions. Creepy-san, however, looked pleased to hear them.
Onogafuchi village is the old name for Hinamizawa, as it was known back before the Meiji era. About the dark history, you know a little bit about the man-eating demons, I assume.
Ah, the man-eating demons, huh? That was just a fairy tale told in Hinamizawa. A long time ago, demons came out of the swamp, and while the villagers battled with them, they ended up living peacefully together. Villagers transcended and became a sacred people, having demon blood in their veins. It was a long-forgotten fairy tale that came back to my mind vividly. For some reason, of course.
You know this story because you're a villager, of course. But what about the story of the cannibal banquet? What's that? know that the villagers have the blood of man-eating demons in their veins, don't you? Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
I dodged the question. Hinamizawa used to be a desolate village, but it grew in prominence after the Second World War and expanded its influence to Okonomiya and other areas. The people who disliked and discriminated against the villagers called us man-eating demons. I remember that. The young villagers don't take it seriously, but the older people can get seriously upset about it. They certainly can't take it as a joke. So the term man-eating demons is forbidden. We never normally use it. Even during my rebellious phase, I never spoke those words. Creepy-san, however, seemed to have no qualms with saying it out loud.
Are you upset? About what? I know people hate that phrase in Hinamizawa. I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable. The old people wouldn't like it, but I'm fine. Would you continue? Thanks. Okay, so the ancient villagers had a custom of cannibalism. They ritualized this custom and held various ceremonies based around it. The festival we hold in June isn't just an early summer festival. It used to be a banquet in which the villagers chased after a sacrifice and ate them. They bound the sacrifice to a table, gutted them, and dumped the organs into a river. Wata can mean cotton, but it also means organs. That's the root of the word Watanagashi.
Organ drifting festival.
Watanagashi.
Yay.
Indeed. I believe they started using futon mats to cover it all up around the Meiji era, according to my research. They wouldn't be able to do that openly nowadays.
Everything Creepy-san was talking about sounded startling. I was just taken aback. I couldn't wholly believe it right away. She sensed that from my expression.
It's not a hoax. I didn't make any of this up. If you promise not to tell anyone, I can show you my notes on Watanagashi.
Oh, get a look into the journal.
Yes. Creepy-san took out a notebook from her bag and flipped through it. She appeared to be doing her research thoroughly.
Thank you. I'd love to read it. Sure. I'd like to keep it confidential. But I guess I should share it with my fellow researcher.
Creepy-san handed me in the notebook with a bit of hesitation. It looked like it'd take a whole night to finish reading. It was densely packed with information. I saw copies of various documents and quotes in there too. It wasn't just some delusions of hers.
You told me that one person dies because of the curse and another person is sacrificed and disappears, right?
A person is sacrificed and disappears. Satoshi-kun had gone missing. Did he become a sacrifice? What is a sacrifice anyway? Creepy-san looked pleased to hear my questions again. She took out another notebook and handed it to me. Why do you have just your notes in your bag?
I think you'll understand once you read it, but I'll give you a digest version. Oishiro-sama's curse is simply Oishiro-sama's anger. In other words, the curse is caused by Oishiro-sama's anger. Do you follow? Yes. You're saying that Oishiro-sama was mad at the people who opposed the village during the dam conflict, and that's why the curse occurred. That's right. Oishiro-sama's anger has to be pacified. If not, something even worse will occur. So, all the successive priests at the Furode Shrine had to perform a sacrifice every time the curse struck in order to pacify Oishiro-sama. It's called a sacrificial ritual. So, each year on the day of Watanagashi, one person dies because of the curse, and another one is sacrificed to pacify Oishiro-sama's anger. But only one person is actually murdered each time. I've never heard of human sacrifices being made. Naturally, there's no body. The ritual of sacrifice requires the offering to be sunk into Onigafuchi swamp. That swamp is bottomless, and no one would ever surface once they were thrown in there. Nobody would ever be found, of course. No body.
Both work.
So one of the victims is always thrown into the swamp every year?
Does that mean Satoshi-kun is also at the bottom of that dark green swamp?
I don't know. I'm not sure that they really throw them into the swamp. But those who make these incidents happen must be eliminating one person based on that legend.
Each year, a trader to the village dies on the day of the Watanagashi because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. And another person is sacrificed in order to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. That person's body would never be found because he or she is supposedly thrown into the bottomless swamp.
Yes, you get it. The series of mysterious deaths always involves both the curse and the sacrifice. It's a system that allows 2 traders to die every year. What I'm telling you now is probably isn't sufficient, so it might be hard to grasp. Instead, I want you to take the time to read my notes. You'll see that what I'm telling you isn't far from the truth at all.
I heard a man's voice just then. A middle-aged man with a hat was waving at Creepy-san from the entrance.
It's
Oh.
been so long!
Yes!
Oh.
Come on!
Sorry, I think I have to go.
No!
No!
I want to talk to you more, but I guess we'll have
Don't
another chance to
you.
chat. I'll leave those notes to you. I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions.
Creepy-san wrapped up the conversation and headed to where her photographer-san was waiting for her. She left her old notebooks in my hands.
Oh,
Creepy-san waved.
I
Hey.
thought you were going to let me appear again.
It's okay, you got. That's what we needed. That's all we needed.
That's all we need.
I'll get back there eventually.
That was a tease. That
Damn.
was a tease.
I need a drink
Come
of my
on.
wine to get over that.
Ugh.
I took a seat again and opened what she'd given me. Bugged me was how photographer didn't appear, but also that's the series of mysterious deaths, also known as Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Maybe I'd be able to get closer to the truth by reading these notebooks that a random woman really just randomly handed me.
Mm-hmm.
If I study them carefully, I might be able to find out who was really behind the incidents. Why did Satoshi-kun have to disappear? What was he involved in? How did that happen? Maybe girlfriend's notes would bring me the answer. Research note. Creepy girlfriend. I started flipping the pages, this time making sure that no one was watching me over my shoulder. Maybe you should sit towards a wall.
Yeah.
Insert time skip here. It was time for the library to close. I had to leave. I bought some food on my way home. I shut my door and locked it right away. Then I heard the door of the neighboring apartment open. Sai lives next door. Nobody else lived on this floor of a nearly empty apartment building anyway. I clearly heard the door open and close. Kasai must have noticed that I came home and was coming over because he wanted to talk to me. I unlocked the door and shouted out to him.
Is that you, Kasai? I'll leave the door unlocked for you. Let's see.
I feel like it's ACAB.
ACAB doesn't call her Shion.
Yeah,
Calls
it's
her
true.
Shion-san.
Oh,
I think
wait,
it's Mion.
Mommy,
That or- I'm not Kasai-san, Shion.
that voice. I twitched.
Can I come in? Sure, sis.
The door slowly opened. My alter ego, Mion Sonozaki, appeared. She was holding a box of cake, while smiling timidly.
Are you going to keep standing there until I escort you? Come in. Sorry, this room doesn't look very cute. It looks comfortable.
This looked a bit tense when entering my room. It was the first time here.
How's life? My new school is as boring as I thought it would be. I usually go, but I skip classes when I don't feel up to it. I couldn't do that when I was going to St. Lucia's. So St. Lucia's was really tough, huh? Huh, you should go there sometime. Sorry. I brought cake. Let's eat.
Mion opened the box. I saw 2 cheesecakes in there.
Damn it, now I want cheesecake.
We have the same taste in food. So we don't have to fight if we get 2 of the same thing.
I want to fuck up a cheesecake now. Damn it!
I chatted with her over the cheesecake. I talked about school and whatnot.
If you need furniture, tell me. I might be able to get some for you. I finally got used to this room, but I might move out soon, so furniture won't be necessary. Thanks, though. Dad wants me to come back home. I don't want to live with him, but he sounds desperate. He'd be pleased if you came home. He looked lonely while you were gone. Huh, you can only say that because you don't have to live with him.
Come to think of it, this was the first time I talked to Sis since I was allowed to live as Shion Sonozaki. She didn't look like how she was at the Sonozaki house that day. The successor of the Sonozaki family and my twin sister are 2 different people. The demon lives inside the leader of the Sonozakis. Our bodies are exactly the same, except the tattoo of a demon on her back. Mion's destiny of the successor was set in stone when she got the tattoo. It's pretty simple. The Mion from that night was different from the Mion before me. When I was forced to tear off my fingernails, I momentarily despised her. But if I were the next leader of the Sonozaki family, I'd have done the same.
Shion, how are your fingernails? The wounds have closed. I don't bandage them anymore because it looks too conspicuous. But my nails still look ugly, so I don't really like showing them to people.
I sneered at her, displaying my incomplete fingernails. Then grew quiet and looked down.
You don't have to apologize. You did what you had to do. You just played the role of the successor. I'm not holding any grudges. I'm sorry. Okay, apology accepted. But if you apologize one more time, that'll be canceled. I won't forgive you for the rest of my life. Huh? What do you
Why
mean?
are you blushing? What?
Once you start apologizing, you never stop, so I'm cutting you off. Will you really forgive me? About Satoshi-kun as well?
My heart ached when she mentioned his name. It felt like just the ache of an old wound.
I figured you loved him. No wonder I shouted it out loud in front of all of you. I'm not embarrassed anymore. Granny truly believes you've atoned. She thinks you've done all you need to do, so the matter is finished. That's good. My pain won't go to waste then. I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to, though.
What?
Oh. Okay. I started choking when I heard her say that. I just said it to her myself. I had said that I forgiven her completely, but that promise instantly evaporated. Just because of what she said, I felt like I turned into a completely different person. What did you just say, Mion? Did you say, I wonder where Satoshi-kun disappeared to? Who else could know other than you and your folks? What did you say? Where did he go? I felt my eyeballs reddening in anger. I felt as though they were about to pop. I choked on a burning sensation in my throat. Mion's expression rapidly changed. It looked like she noticed the devil's mask on my face. We were one and the same. We could understand each other's thoughts without voicing them. So showing expressions was like unveiling everything in our hearts to the other.
Sorry.
And though I told her not to apologize anymore, Mion apologized. I felt like strangling her. I was gonna make her confess where she hid Satoshi-kun. If she told me she threw him into the Onogufuchi swamp, I'll strangle her to death right then and there.
I really don't know what happened to Satoshi-kun.
That's a lie.
It's true. Granny doesn't know anything either. Please believe me. That's a lie. Are you saying that Oyashiro-sama's curse demoned him away? There can't be a curse. There can't be.
Words kept coming out of my mouth. like I was chanting a spell. I wasn't speaking by my own will anymore. It was the demon who was controlling me. The demon that had been sleeping deep inside me woke up and was speaking through my mouth. My hands, the demon's hands grabbed Mion's by the neck.
You guys, Demon Satoshi-kun, away! You and the Sonozaki family! Give him back to me! Give him back!
My hand slowly but surely squeezed Mion's neck. Mion put her hands onto mine. I looked at her fingers. 3 of the fingernails on the left hand looked as ugly as mine.
Mion? What's this?
Tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't have to answer. She had the same scars as I did. She toned as well. The way those wounds were healing looked the same as mine. So, did she get these wounds around the same time as I did?
It was unfair that only you had to go through that. I felt so bad.
Mion started sobbing. I stood there, petrified, still wringing Mion's neck.
Since I found out that you love Satoshi-kun, I really wanted you to be happy. Because it's always only you who has to suffer, even though we're twins.
It didn't come as a surprise to me that Mion might also have loved Satoshi-kun as I did. We've always liked the same stuff, and even the same people. She was stupid enough to feel obligated towards someone like me.
I told Granny to leave you and Satoshi-kun alone. I shouted at her. And she said she'd let you be if you atoned with sincerity. And you did. So you were supposed to live happily with him. But Satoshi-kun has gone away. That's terrible.
Mion isn't smart enough to shed crocodile tears. Those tears were real. Her tears dissolved my demon's anger like how the sun melts ice.
Leave me, Shion. I really don't know why Satoshi-kun disappeared. Neither Granny nor the Sonozaki family have anything to do with it. Granny forgave you, so she would never do anything to him. Mion, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you?
I took my hands off her neck and held her instead.
I'm not hurt. You've been hurt a lot more than me, haven't you?
I shouted at the demon in my mind. I believed in Mion. I've been convinced it was Sonozaki family that made Satoshi-kun disappear. But Mion denied it while shedding tears. Between her and me, her tears were more convincing than any words. So I believed in her. It absolutely wasn't the Sonozaki family that made him disappear. So, do you really think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse? I don't believe in curses, and Mion didn't do it. If it wasn't the curse, or the Sonozaki family, who demoned him away? I don't know. I just know it's not Mion. It's not the Sonozaki family, because Mion says so. That stupid Shion. Are you gonna ignore Satoshi-kun's voice? I know. You don't have to remind me, demon. I can hear his voice. I know he's mumbling with an ambivalent expression, like he always used to do. Even though he knows help won't come. I'll help him no matter what. I'll save him if he's alive. I'll avenge him if he's dead. But Mion didn't do it. You just want to take it out on somebody. It doesn't matter who. But I'm a Shion, not a demon. You're only part of me. Don't try to take control. Fuck off. Don't ever show up again. The demon faded away. My body went limp, and I fell to the floor while holding Mion.
Shion, are you alright? I'm alright now. Mion. Why are we two different individuals? Why can't we just be one? Stop it. We've asked ourselves that so many times. But there's no answer. I'm Shion and you're Mion. That's just how it is. I don't care if I'm Mion or Shion. I just want to be one and equal with you. There's nothing we can do. You have the demon on your back. You're destined to become the successor. And we can't change that. I don't want that. I don't need a demon. I don't want it. I'm not a demon, I'm not. I want to be a human like you.
Mion is a demon, and Shion is a human. And though we're twins, there's a difference between us. Was it impossible for humans to live with demons after all? It should be possible, because they did it before. That's the legend of Hinamizawa. Humans and demons lived together in harmony. As Oishiro-sama watched over them. Mion. Shion. Satoshi-kun. Demons. Humans. Oishiro-sama's curse. A series of mysterious deaths. Satoshi-kun's disappearance. We fell asleep while holding each other. While holding everything.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. This music in the background really isn't helping.
Yeah.
Oh, no, page 50.
Ooh.
85.
Damn.
Ooh.
Achievement unlocked. Payment. Damn. Oh, and the
Nice.
fingernails. Mm.
Ooh, that's fucked up.
You want me to continue, or you want to do these, Flint?
Guess I can do these for a bit.
Oui.
I saw Mion Takano a few times after that. At her core, she was fascinated with the bizarre, and she had an insatiable curiosity that was just as strong. I have to remind myself not to take her story too seriously. Otherwise, I might start believing that Satoshi-kun disappeared because of the curse. She talks about the dark history of Hinamizawa a lot. It's all very interesting. Her theories are based on nothing but conjecture, but some of her intuition covers facts that only members of the Sonozaki family would know. She thinks that Oyoshiro-sama's curse is the continuation of these ancient rituals. In other words, she believes that the curse is performed by religious fanatics. According to her theory, a religious cult once existed in Hinamizawa, and the three families stemmed from it. She believes that they are operating behind the scenes in order to revive the dignity of the Onigofuchi people, which was lost during the Meiji era. Mio-san's theories are far-reaching, and looking at them on a larger scale, they end up making a lot of sense. But they can't offer any explanation for Satoshi-kun's disappearance when using them on a smaller one. Her theories are just too broad. I exchanged information with ACAB every now and then. We'd each expect new leads from each other, but neither of us had any luck. I no longer believe that the tip that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo. It was clearly bogus anyway. Although I can't befriend ACAB, he's been fair about the deal. He alone has been serious about uncovering any new information. ACAB sources are quite reliable, so whenever I found some dubious tip, I check with him to see if it was valid. My meetings with him have diminished in frequency since he's been assigned to new cases. Eventually, we stopped meeting entirely. ACAB stopped investigating, and I reached the limits on my sources of information. People now think that Satoshi-kun's disappearance was a supernatural phenomenon called demoning away. In Hinamizawa, they refer to his disappearance as him having transferred, and nobody will talk about it otherwise. I don't like the way that phrase is used to erase him. During the upheaval surrounding Oishiro-sama's curse in 1982, I was pulled this way and that by new leads on Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Every time I found information that looked promising, I kept changing my theories. But that also became an incredible burden on me. It wore me down plenty on its own. The fatigue was harsh, but it also provided a very kind acceptance. Bit by bit, it soothed away the anger, sadness, and doubt that wore me down. I'll never forget Satoshi-kun. I'll never try to forget him and move on. I constantly repeated those to myself in my head. I repeated them to keep my memories of Satoshi-kun from fading too, over and over. For the sake of my fun memories of Satoshi-kun, together with my fear and my sadness, I repeated them forever and ever. That's it. Huh.
Dang.
Let me save. I think we've gotten into a little bit of a stride between us two. Do you want to continue narrating? Because we got creepy girlfriend in there. We got Shion and Mion.
Yeah, I can.
I think that was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For once.
Hopefully it stays that way.
You just jinxed it.
Damn it.
I mean,
You totally
fucking-
just jinxed it, Flo.
God damn it.
This is. Oh yeah, okay. We're into 1983
Hey!
now.
Wait,
which
Oh my god, we
means-
get some Keiichi.
Keiichi? Is that Keiichi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Keiichi.
Yeah, the fourth year.
One year
of
after Satoshi Hojo's
Christmas.
appearance.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, this is Keiichi's time period.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been able to get used to my new school in Okonomiya, but I had some friends there now. Since I got a part-time job at my relative's store, I had some extra pocket money too. I ended up living with my parents after all, so I didn't have to pay for living expenses. It felt great to get to freely spend the money I earned from working. Still use the room Kasai set up for me from time to time. It was a convenient hideout for when I didn't want to see my parents. In fact, I was planning to spend a day there today.
Damn that teacher. She told my parents that I was skipping classes.
My dad got upset, and that's why I didn't want to stay at home. I've been asking for it though. My teacher should know that my dad is a yakuza and that he gets really scary when he's mad. On the whole, my life had been going well so far, except that it was boring. The reason I could enjoy this lifestyle is probably because I had to live in secret before. It was a great relief to be able to live without having to fake my identity. Well, that might have been a valuable experience. I think I learned from it. I was going grocery shopping and thought I'd get enough food for a week or so. My parents would appreciate my presence more after missing me for a week. I was doing this for their sakes.
Yeah. Oh wait, isn't there a 100 yen sale today? Yeah, there is.
I knew how to save my pocket money. I was in a good mood. I spun around, my arms spread out. I felt like I was inside a little whirlwind.
Yep.
I hit... Yikes. My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be.
Ow! What the? Who parked this motorcycle here?
Oh. I gave the motorcycle a kick with no hesitation. There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. They all followed like dominoes. It was beautiful and so much fun. Oh? This is odd. I felt like I'd gone through this exact same experience before. While blinking my eyes in effort to recall when that was, some people grabbed me by the neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Look at these punks from the owners of the motorcycles. They started shouting at me. This really was strange. I was having deja vu.
Oh god.
Oh,
The fuck are you, bitch? What you think you're doing, huh?
Fuck, here we go again. Oh god.
Uh,
Fucking bash your head in, bitch!
Gonna pay for what you did.
Oh, god.
That's right. It was when I met Satoshi-kun for the first time. He came to save me. If I pretended to cry again now, would he come to save me again? I made a wish. I started pretending to cry and beg for mercy. At that time, I doubted my ears.
Cut it out. Can't you see she's crying?
Damn!
It's Keiichi!
We actually get to see Keiichi.
What?
He has such tiny stick fucking arms.
My god. Wait. Yeah, we
need to see old
need to do the
Keiichi.
thing.
Oh no, oh no.
First thing say.
Oh, this is gonna
maybe-
be good.
Oh god.
Don't ruin him already.
No,
Come
we're gonna
on.
ruin him.
No,
No,
we're gonna
That's what we
ruin
do.
him.
That's what we do.
No.
Ah!
No.
What the
Oh
fuck
my
is he
God.
wearing?
No.
What the fuck is he wearing?
Look
my
at his
sweat.
fucking face.
He could be a character in Gravitation.
He's like, I'm a mean 14-year-old, and don't you forget it.
Oh my god.
Is that shirt? That's
I know, right? No, that's exactly what I'm saying. What the fuck is he wearing?
It's like half a vest.
There we go.
What
Okay,
the
that's
fuck?
better.
Oh. Oh my. That was painful.
That was so great. What are you talking
Oh
about?
my god.
It was a boy about my age. I couldn't see his face because of the light illuminating him from behind. He's an angel from the god above.
Sure.
Satoshi-kun?
Of course. It couldn't be him. It couldn't be.
Dun, 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 dun,
When I
dun,
snapped
dun,
out of my daydream, I realized that it wasn't Satoshi-kun after all. He looked less gracious than Satoshi-kun, so to speak.
We'll call it that.
If Satoshi-kun was pristine and untouched, then this guy would have scratches all over him. But although they were completely different, I got a similar impression from him somehow.
God.
What the hell? Who the fuck are you?
You want to get hurt or what?
Fucking say something! Son of a bitch!
Son of a beach!
Son of a bitch!
The boy
Thanks,
looked
Jo-
a bit taken aback.
Joseph Joestar.
Oh, well. I just thought you might want to let her go just because she's crying. So.
The fuck you think you're telling us what to do?
Whoa, whoa, hold on. I'm against violence.
What's up with this guy? I felt ashamed that I mistook it for Satoshi-kun even for a second. He was cool at first, but he wasn't as cool as Satoshi-kun after all.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry that your motorcycles were knocked down, but I hope you don't feel too bad about it. How could I make you feel better?
My god.
Of course, we don't have any money on us, you know?
Huh. If you don't got the money, then
If you got no money, you gotta pay with your body. Nope, nope, nope,
I'm not saying that.
nope.
Are you kidding me?
Amber's in the other room, and I think she can hear me.
I tightened my grip on the stun gun in my pocket. And I turned it up to maximum intensity. Don't hold a grudge at me if you die, you perverts.
Nope, 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 nope.
No.
Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope, nope. Hey, you out of your mind? Don't touch me with those filthy hands.
And a flash of light cut through the air. Was it a lightsaber?
you stupid fucks!
Blows like thunderbolts knocked the punks down. Wow, so he's actually strong after all?
What the hell? You want some? Huh? You don't have a clue, idiots!
Nope, nope, no. Nope, 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 nope.
I don't remember the scene being this horny last time.
No, come on.
No.
Nope,
no,
nope, nope,
no,
nope, nope, nope.
no.
Nope, 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 nope. Fucking Keiichi, fuck you. Not the worst. Why are you the worst, Keiichi? Oh god! Even,
What is going on?
you even messed up the
What the
background!
fuck?
Oh
He knocked the background art out of the
god!
movie.
No, 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 no. No,
Like, what is...
no. Fucking Japan, fuck you. No.
And why?
No, 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 no. Why does this go on and on, Keiichi? Why? Why? Why does this keep going? No! Make it stop! God fucking damn it!
You know
No!
what? I
No!
actually missed him for a second. and
No,
then I
no,
remembered now
no,
why I'd
no!
done it.
Fuck you,
This is
Keiichi!
so much worse than I remember.
Why
it
couldn't we have
being.
Satoshi back? Yeah, this did not go on this
Give us
long.
the bean. Give us
God
the
damn
bean.
it! Just keeps going. Make it stop! Make it stop! Oh no! It keeps fucking going! Oh my god! Are you fucking kidding me?
Mion. We'll get through this eventually together.
Oh God. Okay.
I remember Keiichi being a giant bitch when this happened the first go around.
Yeah.
I don't
Some
remember
things-
him being
Yeah.
like this.
Some things are slightly different between timelines, apparently.
I thought this was the same as the second timeline, though. Let's just
Don't know that, or they fucking swapped out shit.
Apparently, or Keiichi is just doesn't like to be as horny in his own head as he actually is.
That's true. That's true. We had his
He's just
perspective. Now we're seeing out someone else's.
Unreliable narrator.
Unreliable narrator, 100%.
Which brings me so much horror.
Yep.
Because if Keiichi is toning down his horniness from his own perspective,
Yeah.
what sorts of nonsense are we going to see in this arc
God damn it.
when we see it from somebody else's perspective?
I've been drinking wine this whole entire time.
At that point, I heard a bus of people running this way. Maybe it'll stop.
Remember I sound I gathered some people?
So several kids running towards us. Seemed like our backup had arrived.
Oh shit! Let's get out of here!
The three punks had been standing there agape, but they started running away when they saw that many people.
A reasonable reaction.
You're awesome, my Barson. You had those punks transfixed all by yourself.
My God.
One of them even had a nosebleed. You're so strong, my Barson.
Seems my personal aura has grown more powerful. Oh my God.
Oh
If
God.
this keeps up, I'll soon surpass even Coach's Made in Heaven reality marble. Anyway, are you alright, Mion?
Oh, what the?
Did he seriously just reference reality marbles?
What is that? I don't.
It's a fate thing.
Oh, of course.
A reality marble is basically a pocket dimension type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Unlimited Blade Works is a reality marble.
Gotcha. Okay.
Boy was apparently called Mayabara. He turned around to face me. Even the way he mistook me for Mion sounded like Shitoshi-kun. But Good
Wait.
Bean isn't a pervert like him.
Yeah, good bean.
I was anxious to see how you'd fight back, but I guess 3 guys were too many, huh? I don't believe it.
I was still confused. I couldn't yet grasp the situation. Who was this guy? Mion had friends like him? I was still spacing out in shock. So, I forgot to move. Until his hand touched my head.
Well, you know, I'll forget that I saw you cry, so cheer up, okay?
Rub rub. Boy called Mayabara stroked my head roughly. It didn't feel good. It hurt actually, but still, his hand had the same warmth. Later on, Mion told me all about him. He's called Keiichi Mayabara. Kei-chan for short. He's 1 grade below us. Not only that, but he just moved to Hinamizawa. Thanks to his attitude and lack of manners, he'd already become an idol in their class. Mion joyously explained all this. Sure, he sounded like a fun kid. I knew why Mion was into him. But Shitoshi-kun is way cooler. He wasn't worth stealing from Sis. Or was he?
Oh.
My heart throbbed. I was excited. I felt like I got a new toy. I was curious to see what kind of relationship Mion intended to build with him. I loved to tease her about it.
Thanks, Kei-chan. Let me buy you a drink. My uncle's restaurant is just nearby, so why don't we go there?
Shitoshi-kun would refuse out of modesty. But Keiichi Mayabara said okay within 2 seconds.
Okay.
Well then. I couldn't wait to tease the 2 of them. My boring life suddenly became bright again.
Whoa. Hey, don't cling to my arm.
Oh, you don't like it?
Well, I don't hate it. It's just you're...
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Keiichi Mayabara was fun. Mion thought the same way I did. He would always talk about him. I was happy for her and it made me smile.
I guess Kei-chan is really your favorite, huh, sis? What's the most interesting thing about him? Let's see. To put it plainly, he's just funny. For example, just a couple of days ago in the club.
Mian really liked him, but didn't seem to think it was love yet. She's reserved in that area, so that was really like her. As for me, well, I didn't hate him, but my feelings weren't the same as Mian's. Kei-chan was just a little too childish compared to Satoshi-kun. I wonder how Satoshi-kun was doing. Was he waiting for things to cool down somewhere far away? The case had already been solved, though. A Topep was the murderer. There's no reason for him to wait anymore. I shook my head. I shouldn't think about it too much. Oh wait, I know. The case was confidential, so the rest of the culprit hadn't been made public. So Satoshi-kun hadn't realized that he could come back. I know he's a little thick-headed. Maybe waiting for things to calm down until the end of time. But if so, couldn't he give a call to Satoko at least? He should tell her he's living in a faraway place, but he'd be coming home soon. The stupid Satoko. She's been living with Rika Furude since Satoshi went away. Though nobody would pick up the phone even if he did call. Stupid girl. Don't you want your big brother to come home? Given Satoshi-kun's personality, he wouldn't remember any phone number other than his home number. So he wouldn't be able to get in contact with anybody in Hanamizawa. Maybe he's been calling Satoko every night. He keeps ringing, but nobody picks up. Then he assumes Satoko might be taking a bath or be in the restroom. He put on a puzzled smile whenever muffling, like always. I imitated his voice without realizing it.
After that? What? What's up? Didn't you say something, Shion?
I laughed it off and urged Mian to continue. I realized that then her tone had changed. I had been listening to her because I was thinking about Satoshi-kun. I thought she was still happily talking about Kei-chan. But Mian sounded grim now. Frey's smile looked pitiful. It's too late to ask what was going on, so instead I concentrated on our story instead.
After all that, Uncle gave everybody a doll as a thank you gift. Everybody except for me. Okay, except for you. I wanted one too, but I couldn't say it in front of everybody. You still can't express your needs, huh? And then?
Mian sniffled. I realized that she was on the verge of tears.
The cutest doll was in Kei-chan's bag. And he wanted that doll? It didn't matter which one, but although Kei-chan knew only I didn't get one, he didn't give it to me. He didn't give it to me. He said the doll wouldn't fit me and that I should be born as a boy in my next life. That's why he said...
Ouch. That was Keiichi's weak point. He might be fun and popular, but he wasn't mature. Not like Satoshi-kun.
I want to start all over. I want to go back to when I just met him and start all over. I want him to treat me like a girl from the beginning. Don't take it too seriously. It'll be okay, because it's just you who wants to start over while he didn't even notice anything wrong. It'd be harder if you guys fought over it or something. Can I start over? If you didn't cry in front of him, it's not too late. You can cry as much as you want now, and if you show him a different side of you from tomorrow on, you can still fix it. Okay. I'm amazed how insensitive he is, but part of that is just the impression you've been giving him so far. If you change your attitude from tomorrow on, you can still change his mind. How do I change my attitude? How? If I tell you to act cute, you'd start going to school in frilly clothes. So don't think and just be natural. But without overdoing it, pay attention to how you behave around him. And don't forget to be cautious of Rena. She's a bit ahead of you so far. Kei-chan might prefer Rena at this point. Oh, that's true. Rena's really girly. She's cute and caring. That just means you can't slack off for even a moment, sis, because you've got a rival. Tears can attract men, but they don't anger them. You should always be smiling, but cry when it really counts. That's how you typically do it. Maybe I should try that on Kei-chan myself. No, don't. He's the boy you like, so I guess it's natural that I like him too. How can I attract him? Hey sis, why don't we have a competition over him?
Oh god.
No, never. I'll kick you into orbit if you come near Hinamizawa.
I'm happy for you, sis. It's not too late at all. It's important to know the distance between the boy you love and yourself, and shift the way you appeal to him to compensate. The boy I love is missing, you know? I don't even know where he is, or when he's coming back. Credit that, you're very lucky. You were saying she would do her best from tomorrow on with red, tearful eyes, but I sensed a deeply negative feeling emerging inside me. Nobody was blaming me for being happy with Keiichi. I wasn't envious, wasn't jealous. I didn't want her to be blamed the same way I was blamed. It was just that there was no space for Satoshi-kun in Mion's mind anymore. Filled as it was with Kei-chan and her other friends now. It didn't matter to her if Satoshi-kun came back or not. Just like how she didn't care if it was sunny or rainy tomorrow.
Unlike Rika.
What about me then? Had I been thinking about Satoshi-kun all the time for the past year? I wasn't proud of my own answer. I'd become used to life without Satoshi-kun. His absence didn't hurt me anymore. I was getting used to life with Keiichi Maebara. If I let my guard down, he might just fill up the space I've been saving for Satoshi-kun. If Shion Sonozaki had prayed harder for Satoshi-kun to return, he might have come home already. Where did Satoshi-kun go? Last year, right after his disappearance, I paid close attention to the information circulating in the Sonozaki family and its underground connections, and I frequently went to the police station to check with ACAB for new information. Even with all that, I couldn't get any new leads on his whereabouts. I eventually became interested in Oyashiro-sama's curse, which surrounded Satoshi-kun's disappearance. I researched that dark history of the village. The more I looked into it, the less likely his survival seemed. I returned to Creepy San's scrapbooks to her. Then I hadn't gone to the library since. I started a new life in a new school. I'd made new friends, and in the same way, as falling leaves cover the ground, I felt like I was losing sight of what was really important to me. It was already almost the end of spring. They said the summer was coming early, and it'd be very hot this year. Normally it'd be raining season now, but we had no rain at all. The Watanagashi Festival is right around the corner. It's almost a year since Satoshi-kun went missing. In Hinamizawa, they don't allow you to talk openly about Oyashiro-sama's curse, or the series of mysterious deaths. So everybody acts like the murder of Satoshi-kun and his aunt never happened. That's because Satoshi Hojo-kun was a member of the family of traitors. He fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse on the 4th year running. He was demoned away. Everybody was trying to forget about his existence and erase their memories of him. Don't make him disappear because of the curse. Don't erase his existence. Satoshi-kun was living in Hinamizawa just a year ago. He went to school. He was an A student. He was a member of the Hinamizawa Fighters. He could never hit the ball when it really mattered. He was unreliable, but pure. He was warm. Because of the curse, people made him disappear. They stopped mentioning his name and acted like he never existed. A new resident like Keiichi Maebara wouldn't even know him. He seriously believed that Satoshi-kun had transferred out. I miss you, Satoshi-kun. I want to go shopping with you again. I want to be at a baseball game with you again and get a cold drink afterwards. I want to tease you and I want you to stroke my head again. Your hand was so warm. I felt as my whole body was being caressed. Satoshi-kun.
Haven't opened this notebook in a while. My feelings have been writing down for over 150 pages. This notebook is the key to my heart. The other me who's been sleeping since last year is slowly waking up.
Oh.
I'm quite amazed by your dirty deeds, Keiichi-san.
He is a boy
Thunder
after
Chief.
all. Me-chan, Shi-chan, Keiichi-kun looks confused. Oh.
Did you hear that, sis? We're not playing tug of war here. Are you trying to tear Kei-chan apart? I'm not playing tug of war. You're the one who's stretching him. Go back to Okonomiya, Shion. Okay, I will. Oops.
Oh my
I
god.
let go of Keiichi suddenly, so he and Sis flew off like a rubber band. Keiichi rolled on the ground while Sis was stuck in a bush head first. What lively people.
See you, Kei-chan. Sis might assault me if I stick around any longer, so I'll get going.
Oh, Shion, thanks for today.
Forget it. I didn't do much.
See you, Shion.
His hand landed on my head. Rub, rub, rub. He stroked my head pretty roughly. For the warmth reminded me.
Excuse me, I'm going. See you, sis. Don't ever come here again. Rena, keep your eyes on her. Satoko set traps. Rika-chan, purify this area with salt.
The warmth remained on the top of my head. Felt ticklish and sore. I had to stop. I got off my
Moped.
moped. I was reading as moped. I was like,
Moped.
what? Moped, and pushed that aching spot against a telephone pole. I'm sorry, Satoshi-kun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I never forgot about you. I still remember you. I'm worthless without you. I can't stand life without you because it's gray and cold and boring. It's true. It's true. I can never smile because you aren't here. I can't.
Keiichi.
See you, Shion.
Ichi's face appeared in my mind. I recalled the touch of his hand stroking my head. It wasn't warm. I wasn't happy. It was rough and painful. I hate that insensitive guy. He's too childish, rude, and cold. He's like a stray dog. I wasn't happy. It wasn't warm. I wasn't happy or overjoyed at all.
No! Oh, Satoshi-kun.
Satoshi-kun mumbled. He didn't know what to say in a situation like this. But he knew he had better say something. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say, so he just mumbled. I'm sorry, Shion. Why are you apologizing, Satoshi-kun? I'm the one who should apologize. Even though I said I'd wait for you. Even though I believed my heart wouldn't change. My heart is full of holes. You're leaking out from the small cracks in my heart. Little by little.
Da, 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 da.
You're leaking out. From me. Are you suffering because I'm here? Why? You're so precious to me. So don't say that. I've been with you. I've been here with you all this time. But I think I'm hurting you by continuing to exist. I don't want that. That's not true. No. No, no. Where have you been, Satoshi-kun? You weren't with me. Tell me where you are. What's the address? What's the postal code? What's the name of the city? What's the street number? Tell me. There isn't an address. I knew it. Tell me you've always been with me. Always by my side. It's such a cliche. What should you prefer, Shion? I can give you strength. I'll stay by your side forever. But if you're suffering because of me, I'll disappear right away.
Don't say that. I want to be with you. Always. I want to be with you forever.
Okay. I'll stay with you then. A car passed by. The noise snapped me out of my reverie. The sky was turning orange. I should get home before it gets cold. I should go home to Okonomiya. You're with me, right? Are you with me right now, Satoshi-kun? I walked back to my moped. My feet sank into the grass. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Why is the grass crunching? That's
I have no idea.
I stopped when I reached my bike, but then I heard extra footstep. I gasped. I could feel somebody else's presence. I'm not stupid. Nobody else was around here. Nobody had suddenly appeared behind me. So I wasn't surprised to find nobody. I turned around, but he was definitely still there.
Satoshi-kun.
I couldn't see him, but he was there. He was there for me. Satoshi-kun never lies. He said he'd be with me all the time. I've just been too insensitive to feel his existence till now.
Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun.
The breeze tickled my hair. It felt cold, but to me, it was nothing but the warmth of his hand. It took me a while to notice that my cheeks were wet with tears.
Oh.
Damn.
Well then. This is getting interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Shion's going crazy.
Shion's already crazy.
You know that
It's
whole
too
thing, like,
scary.
fucking ringing Mion's neck?
Yeah.
I'm too scared to sleep. If I went to sleep, I might not find Satoshi-kun there in the morning. So I kept talking to him until I passed out. I told him about what happened while he was missing. I told him I realized how much I loved him after he went away. I'd searched for him, looking into various different
Different things.
things. I'd gather underground information through Kasai. I bargained for police information with ACAB. I couldn't find any leads. A long time passed, but I kept thinking about him. Etc., etc. I told him all the small details from my daily life. Places I wanted to go with him, things I wanted to do with him, the food I wanted to share with him, and I told him a lot of things. I was sitting up at first, but I got tired, so I lay down. I got tired of moving my mouth too, so I started talking to him in my mind. It was the happiest night I'd ever had. When I woke up, I didn't find Satoshi-kun by my side. I knew it somehow. I was afraid of it. That's why I didn't want to go to sleep. But at least I got to see him for one night. Just when I resigned myself to that, I felt Satoshi-kun's presence again. It wasn't a dream after all. Thank God. So I began my strange life with Satoshi-kun. As promised, Satoshi-kun was always by my side. He wouldn't laugh, mumble, or stroke my head. But he was always with me. Always right by my side. He'd disappear sometimes, but he'd come back when I looked for him. Seemed all I could hear was his footsteps. This is the way it was. It was a bit sad, but I felt satisfied. His presence was really faint, so it was hard to sense him in a crowd. But he never left me. If he were tangible, I'd be taking his hand all the time so that he wouldn't get lost. In contrast, I could feel him very strongly in a quiet environment. Of course, I couldn't tell what his expressions were, because he was just a presence. But after I got used to it, I could tell what he was thinking. First, I could only tell if he was laughing or not. Eventually, I started to feel his emotions more strongly. I could communicate with him normally. I was usually alone with him, though. I didn't want to go to school or hang out with my friends anymore. But Satoshi-kun got upset about that. He'd keep mumbling unhappily. Now that I knew he'd always be with me, I shouldn't just stay home all the time. I was sticking to my time alone with him, however, because I was scared he might suddenly disappear again. I wanted to make the most of the time I was sharing with him right now. I must have been worrying too excessively. Satoshi-kun was always be at my side. Yeah, that was his promise. He never breaks promises. It was fine, because he was there. Of course, I couldn't tell anyone about him, not even Sis. I could try to explain it to them, but they'd never understand.
Yeah, probably.
But I was certain he was with me. So, I'd be alright.
I never get fed up with life with him. He's really cute, you know. We always walk together. When I stop, he always walks one extra step. That's so adorable. I love it. One extra step.
Totally not
Yeah.
the worst.
Totally not.
Shion-san, what are you going to do on Watanagashi this year?
I guess I'll have some fun at the festival. Maybe I'll tease Sis and her friends.
I wanted to go to the festival with Satoshi-kun. I knew he liked to see me having fun with everybody. He might get jealous if I play with Kei-chan. But Satoshi-kun isn't very sensitive in that way. Satoshi-kun loved to see me and my friends have fun. So I should have a lot of fun for his sake. Then I'll talk about the day with him later.
How are you going to Hinamizawa? I can give you a ride if you want.
I'm taking my moped, so you don't have to.
That won't do. Aren't you going to the family party afterwards? I can't let you drive under the influence.
He won't let me drive, but he's kind enough to let me drink.
All right, take me then.
Good. Let's leave before nightfall. I'll come pick you up around that time.
What time? Before nightfall? That's not specific
Yeah, right.
whatsoever. But alright.
Hmm.
After Kazai left, I sensed that Satoshi-kun was excited about going to the festival.
Watanagashi, huh? So, it's been almost a year since you went away.
Satoshi-kun seemed confused.
I bet you're going all right now, aren't you?
We laughed together.
Welcome! Here's your net and a bowl. Oh, wait. Great. Wow, these fish are so active. They look delicious. I could eat this little one raw right here.
Huh?
What are you saying, Nyan-san?
Michan, you eat goldfish? Did you eat the one I gave you last year too?
No, I didn't say that.
Sis shook her head hard. She turned all red.
But you just said it. You said they look delicious.
I heard it too. Sis eats everything as long as it fits inside her mouth.
If it's really good, I'll try it once. No, you can't, Rika-chan. Get sick.
Wait a minute. Hey, you. How long have you been here, Shion?
Hi, Kei-chan, Sis, and everyone else. Good evening. When did you get here, Shion? I've been here since you were at the chow mein booth. I found you guys quickly since you were making so much noise. Hey, You're not in our club. Get lost. Don't be mean, sis. Right, Kei-chan? You're fine if I come with you guys, right?
Took Kei-chan's arm and held it.
Oh
We're
no.
gonna have a ball.
Good, Rena.
Yes. I ran around the booths with Sis and her friends. I joked around and laughed out loud. I teased Kei-chan and Sis too. Kei-chan was the center of the group, so if I did something to him, it naturally evolved everybody else. It looked like Satoshi-kun was having a hard time finding his own spot in the crowd. When I glanced at him in a quiet moment, he smiled and told me to have fun without worrying about him. If he were tangible, I'd pull his arm to join the crowd. It made me sad that I couldn't do that. I bumped into somebody's shoulder. It was obviously my fault, so I apologized right away. As it turned out, it was somebody I knew.
I think I know who this is.
Creepy
Yep.
girlfriend son.
Hey, there he is.
Creepy girlfriend son.
Oh, looks like you're having fun. Good evening, Xian-chan. The moon looks beautiful tonight, doesn't it? Oh, it's been forever, girlfriend-san. And you were...
Nice to meet you. I'm hot. I heard
clip
you
that
were
shit.
Mion's twin sister.
Nice to meet you too, Hot-san. I heard you are a great cameraman. Please take a picture of me someday.
I'm just an amateur dreaming of going professional.
Well, you're actually great, Hot-san. You're good at many things.
No, I need to study more. I have no talent, so I have to put on a lot of effort to compensate.
Very good.
Yep.
They must have been in a relationship.
You two look so happy together. Am I interrupting you? Oh no, I appreciate your consideration, but you're not interrupting us at all. And you can call me creepy like before, not girlfriend-san. It's a bit hard for me to call someone older than me by her first name. Well, never mind.
I smiled bashfully, and girlfriend's son smiled back elegantly.
I haven't seen you in the library since. I wanted to talk to you more as a fellow researcher. You stole my notes, you know.
No, she gave him back.
Wait, when?
Yes, she did.
Okay, yes.
did.
It was in her notes.
She
I
went
think.
back and gave him back, and then never
Okay,
been
okay.
there since.
So you're in the library since, okay. Well, when I feel like it. It's
Wait, is that hot?
yeah, it's hot
photographer?
photographer.
Yeah.
A fellow researcher. Are you interested in it too, Xiao? I mean, in the legend of this village?
Son raised his eyebrows.
I think you mean he waggled his eyebrow.
Yeah, right.
As far as I knew, girlfriend son's hobby wasn't exactly normal. On the surface, her research dealt with the cultural history of ancient Hinamizawa, but its main focus was the Watanagashi festival of ancient time. The cannibal banquet in which they captured and gutted a living sacrifice. Her research covered various stories surrounding that and other legends of cruelty. It was nothing if not gory. That was where her main interests lay. So I didn't feel comfortable being called a fellow researcher, to be honest. But, objectively speaking, her research notes were fun to read. It was then that I
Objectively,
heard
they
a
were
loud-
fun. that seems so weird.
Loud booms of the taiko drums. The main event of the Watanagashi festival, the dedication dance, was about to start. According to Girlfriend Son's hypothesis, the part of the dance where the shrine maiden tears open a futomat represents gutting a living victim.
It's starting. I should head over. Aren't you guys coming to see Rika-chama's performance? Hmm?
Hotsun looked bewildered. Did that mean he wasn't coming? Girlfriendson giggled, then whispered in my ear.
Oh, that was other. Uh-huh. To tell you the truth, we're thinking of sneaking into the ritual storehouse.
She made it seem like she was going to do something fun. But it wouldn't be amusing to anyone who knew what the ritual storehouse was. The ritual storehouse, or the storehouse for ritual implements, is some sort of treasure house belonging to the Furuude Shrine. I heard that Oyashiro-sama's sacred treasures were stored in there. Only people from the Furuude family and selected members of the other 2-3 families are allowed to enter. They believe that if other people enter, the place would be desecrated. Everybody in Namizawa must have been curious about what was in there when they were kids. The storehouse was always tightly locked. You couldn't just peek into it either. Kids would get chided if they played around it, so they learned to stay away. I didn't like being around it myself, since I was familiar with all that. Even though I didn't believe in curses, I still want to be near it. Nothing good can come from breaking the rules. Were they still going to enter the ritual storehouse despite all that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's tightly locked. It was until last year. Rika-chan had the heavy bolt changed to a cheap padlock because the bolt was too heavy for her to lift. Did you know that? No. But even if it's cheap, it's still locked, isn't it? Hatsan is very skilled. Oh, are you good at lockpicking? Once the Ratanagashi ritual starts, everybody will gather around the stage, right? Then the area around the storehouse will be completely devoid of people. Tonight, this place will be a blind spot. Can't see the forest for the trees, I suppose.
According to our hypothesis, the ancient tools used for human dissection and torture would be found in the ritual storehouse.
Why don't you join us in a bit? It's now or never. So maybe I'll see you then.
Creepy girlfriend. What are you telling her?
Just girl talk. Let's go to some dark place for a quick date.
Okay.
Huh?
Creepy girlfriend song walked against the flow of the crowd.
Look, I had to do it to him.
Yeah.
Alongside.
I just see that one gif of like the
song.
anime girl that like gets closer and her eyebrows waggle while her eyes get closer and closer to the camera. I see that with him.
Yep, absolutely.
The ritual storehouse, huh? Was supposedly filled with torture tools. I mean, you would know. Considering what they had in the underground torture room at the Sonozaki house,
Yeah.
case in point, that's quite possible. Goodbean fell victim to the curse of the 4th year. Since death was the sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse, Goodbean was the sacrifice to pacify Oyashiro-sama's anger. That was what creepy girlfriend son said last year. It was just her hypothesis. At present, I wanted to deny her hypothesis because I wanted to believe that Goodbean was still alive. If her hypothesis was correct, either some religious fanatic, or somebody from the 3 families must be imitating the curse in order to revive the ancient custom Onogufuchi. That would mean that it was them who killed Goodbean. So what if the ritual storehouse was filled with garbage instead of torture implements? Maybe it's filled with broken palanquins or freshly painted palanquins or freshly painted signboards for the festival. I hate English. But then, it wasn't really hard for me to believe that it was filled with chemical smell paint. Maybe I'll get to deny the hypothesis that Goodbean was sacrificed by seeing the inside of this ritual storehouse for myself. Whatever was in there didn't mean that Goodbean would come back.
What should I do, Satoshi-kun?
As most people went to see Rikachama's ritual dance, the festival grounds were deadly quiet. Even so, I couldn't sense Goodbean. Did he go somewhere? Or was I not paying enough attention? Or maybe he wasn't feeling any emotions in particular? After thinking for a while, I decided to go in with them. Been almost a year since Goodbean's disappearance. I've been avoiding the truth because I was afraid he might be dead. But now I had a chance. I had a chance to see the inside of the ritual storehouse. Felt as though something divine had arranged that coincidence. On my way to the storehouse, I noticed Keiichi, who was jumping up and down trying to see Rikachama's dedication dance over people's shoulders. If I took him along, we could split the guilt. Or Shiro-sama might put a curse on me for entering his divine storehouse. I wanted a partner in crime. Since the boy I loved disappeared last year because of the curse, maybe Mion's love for it should disappear with this year.
Damn.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
What am I thinking?
That must have been the demon inside me. I shook the thought out of my head.
What's going on, Shion? Where's the best place to see Rika's dance from? Is it far?
Huh? I never said I was going to show you that.
Made it to the ritual storehouse.
Ah.
Keiichi was baffled by the whole situation.
This is slightly different.
What?
Because she did tell him that in the other one. It's the same, but it's slightly different.
Interesting. Our timing had been perfect. You can see how photographer's son picking the lock.
So it's not quite the same timeline. So there are more than just like the 3 timelines we've been shown.
Hmm.
Even though Keiichi must have been curious, he insisted that we shouldn't go in. But I talked to him into it anyway. He was quick to change his mind when Hot Photographer's son joined in. Wait, Hot Photographer's son went in.
Yep.
That didn't happen last time.
Huh.
He stayed outside to guard or something.
Hmm.
Oh, that sounds vaguely right. Yeah.
Hmm.
It was completely dark inside, so creepy girlfriend son lit a battery-powered lantern. A small entry space appeared before us.
It's so dark in here. Take care not to trip over anything.
I appreciate the concern. Okay, doorman, keep a good watch. We're shutting the door now. Okay.
Okay, no, he's staying outside.
It made it sound like he was going inside.
They did.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Uh,
Left him out on
Sounds
purpose,
like he
blah, blah,
is.
blah.
blah 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 outside. He's guarding.
Man. All right, everyone. Have fun.
He definitely was slightly different. As soon as the heavy door was closed, we were surrounded by quiet darkness. All we could rely on was creepy girlfriend son's lantern.
It'll be fine. It's an outdoor lantern with backup batteries inside. It won't go out or anything.
Creepy girlfriend son teased Keiichi a bit. Keiichi in turn looked a little pale. He seemed to be able to recognize the sanctity of the building even though he wasn't from Hinamizawa.
Let's go in. Here we go. There.
After creepy girlfriend son opened the heavy inner door, a dusty foul smell flowed out. It was like the smell of a pantry that had been opened in years, and the smell of a fish market mixed together. I didn't know how exactly to describe it, but it was a bad smell. From listening to the echo of our footsteps, I could tell that this room was much bigger than the one we were just in. Her creepy girlfriend son raised her lantern, and I could clearly see just how big it was.
Wow.
On the far side of the wall, there was a statue of some kind of god staring down at us intruders. Though it was lit by a lantern to give it a powerful appearance, and it scared me.
That's the guardian god of Hinamizawa, Oyashiro-sama.
I looked up at the statue, which was holding its religious ornaments. If Goodbean's disappearance was really a curse, I couldn't forgive this god. I found myself irritated by the way the statue looked down at me. Damn you, Oyashiro-sama. If you really made Goodbean disappear, I'll never forgive you. Never. Keiichi didn't seem to understand the significance of the storehouse. He looked bored.
Very good.
Creepy girlfriend's son noticed that and took out her scrapbooks to show him the brutal history of ancient Hinamizawa. I heard the story already, so I decided to walk around by myself. Since I knew the significance of all these tools, I felt a little nauseated. Though they certainly wouldn't jump out to me, I still found them intimidating. It looked as if they were craving for fresh blood after not been used in hundreds of years. All the tools looked similar to the ones I saw in the underground torture room at the Sonozaki main house. If those tools were progenies of torture implements, these would be their ancestors. All the implements that looked old. I doubted they could really be used. They weren't kept maintained like the ones at the Sonozaki house. So did that mean they shouldn't scare me? No, on the contrary. They told me the cruel rituals were indeed performed in the village at one point. Now that, I found scary. What creepy girlfriend's son had told me was the truth.
Da-da-dan.
When I stopped, Goodbean also stopped behind me, one step later. I felt no emotional change in Goodbean. I couldn't tell if he was feeling something or not. I knew he was there, but I had no idea how he was feeling. I felt scared of him for the first time. If he couldn't answer me, I'd want to ask him. Who demoned you away?
Are you listening, Satoshi-kun?
I couldn't tell if he heard me or not. He left, as if he didn't hear anything. I could tell he'd been sulky ever since we got here. I suddenly felt lonely, so I looked for him while walking around. I realized then that there was an altar in front of the statue. He might be there. It was a clean altar. Altar ornamented with religious artifacts. It was kept well maintained, saw no dust. That would mean, well, the flowers in the vase weren't wilting. I saw a pretty handkerchief under the vase. Looked out of place amongst everything else. I was fairly certain it was Rika Furude's handkerchief. That would mean that the storehouse is maintained daily. It wasn't forgotten ruin buried in dust. So the brutality that dwelled in this ritual storehouse is still alive and well in Hinamizawa. That's right. Something as ambiguous as Oyashiro-sama's curse is nothing more than a simple delusion of the villagers. As creepy girlfriend said,
Everything that happens in this world is done by humans.
I'd accuse Oyashiro-sama of demoning away Goodbean. But Oyashiro-sama is just a statue made of bronze or wood. It was nothing but an icon. There are, however, human beings who would try to make that icon seem real. A series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is a result of human action. It shouldn't be called Oyashiro-sama's curse. If Goodbean was the fourth year's victim, he was victimized by a human being who just was acting a part of a curse. The person who demoned away Goodbean does not be very, very far from me. The truth behind Goodbean's disappearance was not so far from my grasp. Thump. I was startled by the sound. It sounded like somebody dropped something. I looked over at creepy girlfriend's son, Keiichi. Creepy girlfriend's son was still lecturing him. Did she drop her scrapbook or something? Thump, thump, thump. The sound came from right behind me, not from them. I never heard Goodbean do that. It sounded like somebody was stomping on the floor in frustration. What is it? Thump, thump, thump. The sound continued, ignoring my question. Though I heard it right nearby, it sounded as As though a child was hopping on a wooden floor somewhere distant.
What's wrong, Satoshi-kun? Are you angry about something?
I couldn't read his expressions. Thought he was mad, but I didn't sense any emotion from him at all. Was he mad I touched the altar? Maybe you weren't supposed to do that. Thump, thump, thump. It's not that I've been able to communicate with Satoshi in any concrete way. I just talked to him. I was never expecting him to react like that. I had a sense of willingness to communicate from this creepy sound. Then a chill ran up my spine. Felt as if all my pores were opening.
No damn.
I've been thinking that it was Satoshi-kun stomping on the floor. Hey, you. You're Satoshi-kun, aren't you?
Oh.
The sound stopped. I asked that. It wasn't a yes or a no. Just silence. Satoshi-kun wouldn't scare me like that. I realized suddenly that the sound hadn't come from Satoshi-kun. A cold shiver shot through my feet, and I sprung a step backward. The sound and stop had to come from right there. Even though I jumped back, it was still just a few meters away. Satoshi-kun would sometimes let me hear his footsteps when I walked. But if that wasn't Satoshi-kun, then there was no guarantee that I'd hear its footsteps. So that invisible being
damn.
could already be right in front of my eyes. And I just wouldn't see it. I forgot everything and ran, straining my ears as much as possible for any sound, listening for any footsteps pursuing me. I ran right into Keiji and clung to him, timidly turning my back to look. In the dimly lit area before the altar was quiet, like nothing had happened. But seeing that chilling darkness, stillness, realizing I was just in that space, made me even more frightened now.
What's up, Shion? Did you get scared?
Keiichi made fun of me. And though he looked horrified just a little while ago, he now looks satisfied to see me scared too.
I know girls tend to get freaked out by haunted houses. Well, I don't mind it. Anyway, let's go. Before creepy son leaves us behind.
I pretended to be fine, but I wasn't sure if I was able to hide my fear entirely. The footsteps were chasing me. They were outside in the illumination of the lantern as though they could go into the light. The presence never left us, though. It followed us like the fourth member of the party. Sometimes they made a stomping sound as if wanting some recognition, but neither creepy girlfriend son nor Keiichi seemed to notice it. It was possible for creepy girlfriend son to be ignoring it, but Keiichi would never ignore it. Didn't he hear it last time, though?
No, I'm pretty sure she did.
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
The thumping?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think they both did, and the other two didn't hear anything.
Mm.
No. The guy outside, hot photographer son, heard it too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
If he could hear it, he would have said something. So, just like with Satoshi-kun, only I could hear it? What was this thing that was making me so scared? Was this Satoshi-kun in a bad mood? Or was it possible the present I believed to be Satoshi-kun might not have been him at all? Thump. Thump. What are you upset about, Satoshi-kun? Tell me if I did something wrong. I'll apologize. Thump, thump, thump. If you weren't Satoshi-kun, then where did he go? When did you take his place? Thump, thump, thump.
Shion, are you alright?
Huh? I'm fine. You look pale, though.
Then I'd appreciate it if you didn't stretch my clothes too much.
Oh, sorry. Oh, am I interrupting you too?
I decided to engage in the conversation to help myself ignore the sound from behind. I didn't hear the sound as much, and it became a bit more distant. Yeah, I shouldn't pay attention to it. It wouldn't bother me if I didn't hear it. I should just ignore the noise.
Takano-san, you're researching whether those customs survived into the present. You all right?
Thump, thump.
What I'm about to tell you is a secret, all right? I told you, Shion-chan, because you're an understanding person, but the other villagers don't want to hear it. If things go awry, I could be ganged up on and punished.
He's mad at me like a witch. Thump, thump.
My Barkun, you keep it a secret too, okay? If this gets out, I could suffer Oishiro-sama's curse or be made into a sacrifice. If it's the curse, then I wonder what kind of death it'll be this year. If it's a sacrifice, then I'll be thrown into the Onagafuchi swamp while still alive. And it is tonight, you know, the night of Oishiro-sama's curse.
Certainly is. If the curse strikes for a 5th time, it'll happen tonight. Thump, thump, thump. Creepy girlfriend son pulled out an old scrapbook from her paper bag and started turning the pages. She opened it up to a page within that one article. It was an article about the brutal murder of a Watanagashi victim. It happened in the Meiji era.
This is a story that actually happened. It was around the end of the Meiji era. They discovered an unknown mangled corpse, the victim of a murder in Onagafuchi swamp, or Onagafuchi village.
Thump, thump, thump.
Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity.
Thump, thump. Hey, you guys seriously don't hear that? It's freaking loud. How can you not hear it? Ah, hell. It's freaking noisy. Cut it out already. And the next moment, we all hear a squeaking noise. We all turn around in surprise. It was just Hot Photographer Son opening the door.
Did I startle you?
Oh, Hot Sun, could you not resist seeing inside? This is a splendid treasure trove of torture devices.
I'll pass on that. I'm bad with this sort of thing by nature.
Baby Girlfriend Son laughed as if making fun of Hot Photographer Son for being such a scaredy cat.
In any case, the dance and ceremony are over, and everyone's going down to the river. The festival as a whole will be over within minutes.
What's up? I never expected that Hot Photographer Son would save me from this nightmare. His face suddenly looked heroic.
Oh? Keiji-kun, are you leaving too?
I've seen enough. Shion, you're good too, right? Let's get out of here. I want some fresh air.
I agree. Let's leave.
I went into the entry room and turned around. Creepy Girlfriend Son was taking photos in a mad rush, though our time was up. I didn't hear that sound anymore. I didn't feel that presence. I didn't feel Satoshi-kun either. But somehow I wasn't too sad about that. Even if he followed me out here, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was really him or somebody else.
Damn.
Yikes.
Welp.
Yikes.
Da-da-da. Notebook pages.
Oh god.
Fun, fun.
Achievement unlocked. Defilers. Ooh.
Oh. Don't like that.
What are you talking about? It's great.
Let me grab this.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. That underground torture room is officially called the Underground Ritual Storehouse. So do torture room and ritual storehouse mean the same thing? According to Creepy's theory, bloody rituals including Watanagashi have been passed down among the three families even after the Meiji era. The rituals are always ready to be performed. Their form of worship always revolved around torture, so Hinamizawa's history involved a great deal of human slaughter. Creepy's theory is correct. The underground storehouse at the Sonozaki house looked well maintained. Creepy-san is right about that too. Since the Sonozaki family and the Furude family both have ritual storehouses, the Kimiyoshi family must have one too. After all, these ancient and brutal customs are still handed down through the generations. I should remain armed with the knowledge that occult events are still secretly being performed in this cursed village. The sanctity of the ritual storehouse is one of the most prominent elements of the worship of Oishiro-sama. Of course, I knew that since I'm originally from Hinamizawa, but violating that sanctity is actually a more serious problem than I thought. Creepy-san's research shows that the history of the ritual storehouse goes way back. The ritual implements within have long been viewed as inviolable objects, which is why it was strictly forbidden to enter. Creepy's theory says that Waranagashi was once a public execution, performed to stabilize the reign of the three families rather than a purely religious ritual. If so, the ritual should hardly be called sacred. Under those circumstances, the implements should have been despised as symbols of hatred and fear. When instruments of fear are too visible, it only creates a reign of terror. But keep them as hidden as possible, and they gain divinity. Many said they would become tainted if the layman touched them. The only reason for that was to preserve their false prestige through secrecy, since they would lose their sanctity if revealed before the common folk. In other words, the true identity of the ritual storehouse's sacredness was fear. That was the true emotion ruling over this village. Damn. The reason why Creepy-san and Hot-san were cursed is because they broke into the ritual storehouse. I don't know how the villagers found out about it. Maybe somebody was watching. Maybe there was an anti-theft alarm. Either way, our intrusion must have been reported to the highest level of the curse system. That's because, considering the distance between the village and the site where Creepy's body was found, she must have been killed right after we came out of the ritual storehouse. It was done very quickly. It's possible that a special assassination team exists for this purpose, or that the plan had been set up as a long time ago. They might have been secret agents of the Sonozaki family, but the latter sounds more valid. But if so, who would have been the victim if nobody broke into the ritual storehouse? Dun dun
Interesting.
dun. Save. Well, it is 11:30. What do we want to do? Want to end it there? Do you want to try a little bit longer and then stop partway? Or
I'd be down to try a little bit longer,
okay.
as long as you guys are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go then. Chapter 10 begins.
Hell yeah.
Me to continue?
Sure.
Good.
Da-da-da.
Our relatives gathered at the Sonozaki house after the festival to have a little party.
Ooh, this
I
is gonna
mingled
be
with my
dramatic.
uncles and had fun. I was trying to get rid of my eerie memories of the ritual storehouse. Mia was acting as assessor, so I tried to stay away from her. I'm sure she would feel weird if I talked to her in a formal way.
Also, you stole her boy.
Also that. In consideration of the hag's old age, we ended the party around 7 or 11 p.m. We all helped to clean up, with the woman washing the dishes in the kitchen. Rude. And the men folding the tables and putting them away in the storeroom. Only took about 30 minutes, then everyone left, one after another. Then Mian was no longer acting as Sonozaki's successor and was back to being her normal self. Maybe I drank too much. I was lying on the tatami floor. Kasai asked me if I could get in the car, so I told him I'd borrow to get in now.
Sis, can I spend the night here? I just want to sleep. Granny will get mad if she finds you. By the way, don't you have school tomorrow, Shion? No, tomorrow is their school's anniversary, so there's no class. How many times a year does your school have its anniversary? Oh well. Okay. Kasai-san, she can stay here tonight.
Understood. Good night.
Come on, Shion, wake up. Granny will get really mad if you fall asleep here. Here, hold on to me. You can sleep in my room.
I was left alone all of a sudden this late night. No, aren't you with Mion?
My alter ego told me that I'm in a demon's stomach. I wouldn't have woken up if I hadn't heard his voice. I might not have woken up at all.
I don't remember much after that. I was probably brought into Mion's room and immediately crawled into the futon. After a while, Mion got her futon ready next to me, turned off the lights, and went to sleep. At least that's what I thought. I got up and turned the lights on. Mion's futon was empty. The futon felt cold. I must have left it a while ago. Did she go to the bathroom? No, the closest bathroom was right there down the hallway. The light in the bathroom was off. Where did she go? The ticking of the clock was loud and annoying in this quiet. Hands pointed to a little before 3 a.m. I was left alone all of a sudden, this late night. I felt the eeriness of the ritual storehouse coming back to me, despite drinking it away with alcohol earlier. I tried to sense my surroundings. In this house, there shouldn't be any eerie atmosphere, strange noises, or footsteps. I stepped out into the freezing cold hallway to look for Mion. When I did, I immediately noticed light coming from one of the nearby rooms. The room that belonged to the hag. The hag went to sleep early and woke up early. She was very strict about her bedtime. So it was strange to see her light on in the middle of the night. I could hear voices too. Those voices belonged to the hag and Mion. I creeped up the door and listened to their conversation. Since the middle of the night, I could hear the words very clearly.
That's Oreo.
Okay. But you know, those young ones went too far.
You're right. They made Oyashiro-sama angry, so I guess they got what they deserved.
Mion's voice sounded as cold as the one I heard down in the torture room. Held my breath. The police say that they are investigating, but are you sure?
I guess. It's probably Hot-san. Or Creepy-san.
My heart almost stopped. Oh. Or Shiro-sama got angry? The police are investigating? It's probably Creepy-san? What date it was today? Those words told me that something was happening. My teeth started to chatter. I desperately tried to stop them. I felt like my body was swelling up suddenly. I could no longer hear as well. Calm down. Breathe. Listen more carefully. According to me on the hag's conversation, another incident definitely took place. The victims were Creepy-san and Hot Photographer-san. From what I could tell, both Mion and the hag thought it made sense that whatever it was happened to them. No. I need to think more calmly. They said they deserved it for making Oyashiro-sama angry. Did they say that Creepy Girlfriend-san and Hot Photographer-san made Oyashiro-sama angry? How did they make Oyashiro-sama angry?
I wonder.
They knew. My body started to shake. They knew we snuck into the ritual storehouse. Then that would mean Keiichi and I were also subject to Oyashiro-sama's curse? Suddenly a phone rang. The phone was by the front door. The front door was opposite of the hag's room, farther down the hall. Ringing echoed through the long hallway. It sounded so eerie, almost like it was coming from hell. That was when I felt someone behind me. Of course, there was nobody there when I turned around, but there was someone there a moment ago. I don't know if it was Satoshi-kun. I didn't sense any emotions, so I couldn't tell. I also didn't know how long I'd been there. It was as if that somebody was watching me listen in on their conversation. That was the feeling I got. It couldn't be Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun would never be that intimidating or scary. My mind turned red. I was suffused with blood.
Have you experienced anything like that? Those footsteps always followed me. Oh, wait. Oh, this is,
Oreo?
This was Rena.
this is Rena.
Oh, right. Have you experienced anything like that? Those footsteps always followed me. They even came to my bedside and looked down on me. I remember what Rena Ryugu had said on that rainy day. You'll be okay, if that's true. Or your someone won't get mad at you. If we were sure someone wasn't angry, nobody would follow me. So what does this mean? Ever since we snuck into the shrine storage, something had been following me? What is it? Calm down. Calm down. That's right. Rena wasn't talking about me. She was talking about Satoshi-kun. That's what happened to Satoshi-kun. Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's right. That's why he encountered the curse of Oyashiro-sama. You feel someone is watching from a distance, and it follows you. A creepy feeling crawled up and spread across my back. Then it watches from right behind you. After that, you start hearing an extra footstep. I swallowed loudly. It's almost as though Rena Ryugu was predicting what would happen to me. Had Rena been talking about Satoshi-kun back then? Or had she actually been talking about me?
Da-da-da.
But you start hearing it even inside your house after a while. Then, Oyashiro-sama keeps watching you, even when you're sleeping in the dark, right by your side, waiting silently. I knew by now there was no mistake. No matter how I looked at it, she'd been talking about me. Yes, me. It had been about me. The curse of Oyashiro-sama? What is the curse of Oyashiro-sama? That's when I actually felt something for real.
Ooh.
Somebody grabbed my collar.
Ah!
No voice came out. I wanted to scream, but all I could do was open and close my mouth, as if something was stuck in my throat.
Ooh.
It was Mion.
Eyes.
She's even colder than how she looked in the underground torture room. Only made sense that she'd come out in the hallway to answer the phone. I tried to come up with an excuse, however. The way that Mion looked at me was so cold. Even if I had run into her by accident, I could tell by the look in her eyes that she wouldn't have believed me. I felt cold sweat all over my body. I couldn't even move my fingers.
Sorry.
I apologized. Could have said something to get myself out of the situation, but the apology came out first. But Mion didn't appear to hear me. She walked to the front door, still holding my collar. The phone was still ringing. A normal person doesn't usually let a phone ring so long at this time of night. The phone call itself didn't seem real to me. Mion picked up the phone.
This is Mion. I see. I understand. Please take care of things on your end. Also, please make sure that nobody talks about this. Yes. Goodbye.
Mion put down the phone after a short conversation. What does she mean? Make sure nobody talks about this.
Well, her demon's eyes are gone.
Who called any way? Mion put her forehead to mine and spoke to me.
Did you hear?
Which conversation was she asking me about? Well, she had to be talking about the one with the hag. If I said yes, what would happen to me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mion pulled my collar and pressed her nose on mine and continued to speak.
Just what you heard. The curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon Hot-san and Creepy-san. It's really very unfortunate.
It was like I was talking to myself in a mirror, but what I was saying in the mirror was ever so cold.
Sis, what is the curse of Oyashiro-sama? Hot-san killed himself by clawing out his throat. Creepy-san was burned to death in an oil drum. Terrible, isn't it?
Our photographer's son clawed out his own throat until he died? What? Creepy girlfriend's son was burned to death in an oil drum? What? What? I felt something furry crawl up my spine. I also felt like my stomach was turning upside down. I didn't feel any strength in my legs. If Mian let go of my collar, I'd probably collapse on the spot.
Well, why did they die that way? Don't you know, Shion?
I'm asking you because I don't know.
I don't know. Don't you see there can be only one reason?
Please don't talk as if I already know the answer.
What do you mean?
My heart was pounding. I felt that my next breath would be so bloody and hot that I'd choke on it.
Don't you know? It's because they made Oishiro-sama angry.
First year, it was the manager of the damn construction site. The second year, it was the traders to the village. The third year was the pacifist. Fourth year was relatives of the traders. I always thought the victims were people who had something to do with the damn conflict. Since I didn't do anything against the village during the damn conflict, I assumed I was safe. I should have known. I should have known everything would be the curse of Oishiro-sama. I knew Oishiro-sama's anger was the curse of Oishiro-sama. I knew Oishiro-sama would get angry if I snuck into the ritual storehouse. But since I wasn't held responsible anyway for the damn conflict, I never thought I would be a victim of the curse. Did I think that there would be an incident in the 5th year? Did I ever think that I'd be the victim of the 5th year incident? My photographer's son snuck into the ritual storehouse, and he clawed out his throat until he died. Creepy girlfriend's son was burned to death in an oil drum. It must be a lie. It couldn't be true. Even if it was forbidden, it was just a space for storing some old torture implements. How could they be killed for just sneaking in there? Especially in such gruesome ways. But I thought about it again and realized that those people were absolutely capable of doing things like that. The main Sonozaku family was capable of it. The Sonozaku family had been pulling the strings behind the series of mysterious deaths. They could do it. The Sonozaku family even kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction during the damn conflict. They could do it. The Sonozaku family made Satoshi-kun disappear completely. They could do it. Mian leaned against me before falling onto the cold hallway floor. She collapsed rather violently. I usually didn't go to sleep with my stun gun, but since I was too drunk to get ready for bed, I still had it on me. I had my stun gun on me. I finally understood. I didn't know who killed them exactly, whose idea it was, or who ordered it. I didn't know who actually was involved. But me and the hag knew everything. Satoshi-kun, now I finally know. Now I know what I need to do. I will settle the score for you, Satoshi-kun. I will avenge you, Satoshi-kun. I won't be killed like you, Satoshi-kun.
This is new music.
I walked into the hag's room. She was sitting up to take some medicine. Back was turned to me. Mia and I are twins. If I acted like her, the hag wouldn't notice the difference. I didn't think she ever suspected me. I put my stun gun to her neck and pulled the trigger. I heard an indescribable electrical sound and the hag's lights went out. She fell in a twisted position. I didn't know how long it would take a person to regain their freedom of movement after getting knocked out with a stun gun, so I had to restrain them before they woke back up. I was unbelievably calm. The key to the underground torture room was in the forbidden drawer that only the head of the family can access. Miana told me about this once. Never looked for the drawer before, but I found it exactly where I thought it would be. The key was in a keychain with several of its sisters. Each key had a little plaque on it that said what it was used for. They were all in Mion's handwriting. She was an idiot for being so conscientious, but it sure helped me out. Put the keychain in my pocket and headed to the outdoor storeroom to find a cart. I found a large flashlight there as well. There was a strap on the flashlight so I could put it on my shoulder. That way, I'd have both hands free to carry Mion and the hag. I loaded Mion and then our grandmother onto the cart and carried them into the underground torture room.
I'm sorry, what?
I was prepared to use the stun gun again if they woke up while I was working. But it's more powerful than I imagined, and the hag showed no signs of waking. This is the stun gun Kasai specifically ordered for me when I told him I wanted a more powerful one. I remember him telling me there was an illegally modified stun gun and that I should never use it just for fun. I used my flashlight to find the light switch, found it easily, and turned it on. All the lights went on in the basement. Although there was now illumination, it was very dim. I moved quickly so as to finish what I needed to do before they woke up. I decided to put me in the cell beyond the torture room. The lights in the torture room were so bright that it was like daylight. There's a door there. I'm fairly certain the cells were on the other side of that door. The proper key was here. The keys made a tinkling sound. I felt cold air coming through the gap in the door. There must be a huge opening on the other side. I opened the door and saw nothing but darkness. I fell along the wall to find a light switch. I turned the switch on, and the light bulb lit up, revealing a huge rocky cave. It didn't look like a natural cave. It looked more like an air raid shelter. There were several hollow openings with bars across them. Those were the cells. I walked up to the closest cell and checked to see if it was strong enough to confine her. I pushed and pulled on the bars. I ran against them with all my weight and decided they were perfectly sturdy. This is secure enough to be called a cell. I opened the lock and carried me on in. It wasn't particularly strong, just average. Never thought I was strong enough to carry a whole person. But now I didn't need to pretend to be weak. I could easily lift and drag their bodies. I put Mion in the cell. She seemed to moan a little. I didn't need to check to make sure the effects of my stun gun was wearing off. I closed the bars and turned the key into the lock. Then I ran to the hag who must have been starting to wake up too. Fortunately, there was no sign of her regaining consciousness. Maybe the difference in age had something to do with it. I looked for a table to sustain her on. I found a wheelchair with restraints for the hands and feet. Put the hag in it. Of course, she didn't resist, but her dead weight made it seem like she was a huge French doll, but one made of flesh. I put her hands on the armrest and restrained them at her wrist with the metal rings and hinges.
They're the same with her feet.
I did the same with her feet. This must have been a wheelchair specifically remodeled to restrain a person. Other than restraints, it was a regular wheelchair. I waited for the hag to wake up. I had so many things I wanted to ask her. I didn't think she'd answer honestly, but plenty of tools to make her talk.
Oh
I was
boy.
in no rush. When the hag had a concern, relatives took care of the problem. That's how it worked in the Sonozaki family. She was the leader of the family, so all the information they gathered would make its way to her. She must know everything that happened in Hinamizawa, including the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I heard a noise from the cell. Mia's been woken up before the hag did. Speaking of the hag, she didn't seem like she was about to wake up anytime soon, but she was restrained even if she did, so I had no need to fear. I left the hag there and headed for the cell.
Xian, what do you think you're doing?
She talked like the successor, but she also sounded frightened. She obviously understood the situation she was in right now.
Good morning, Mion. You never thought you'd be in there, huh? As the acting head, I order you. Open this up. You don't sound so scary in there. You need to talk more like a leader, don't you think? Though, talking that way will only make you look like a fool.
There's nothing funny about it. I wanted to intimidate Mion. My laughter echoed through the cave. Artificial and meaningless laughter. I heard it over and over as it echoed. It sounded as if I wasn't the only one laughing. I couldn't stand it, so I stopped. Silence filled the air. That sounds always hurt my ears. So I started to speak.
I never thought Hot-san and Creepy-san would be the victims. What an idea to burn Hot-san or Creepy-san to death. But actually, she would be the kind of person who'd prefer to die that way. Maybe she's satisfied, huh?
Mian didn't say anything. She just stared at me as to see how I proceed.
What about the way Hot-san died? He clawed at his own throat, right? Did you give him a shot of some kind? Or is there a torture device that did that to him?
Mian didn't reply. I was smiling boldly, but I became impatient and finally kicked the bars. I made a violent noise. Mian jumped as if she was kicked directly.
It's boring not to get any answers. Do you have any idea what will happen if I get angry? How would I know?
Mian finally replied. She was odious, but at the same time sounded pitiful.
Hey, Mion. As a successor, why don't you tell me? Let's see.
I had just too many things I wanted to ask her. I wanted to ask her about me, about the incident, about the curse, about Satoshi-kun. I don't even know where to start. Before I asked her about those, I asked her one other thing.
You know there's no point in trying to resist, don't you?
Mian glared at me silently. Because we were twins, I knew that it was just a bluff.
We've come this far, so there's no point in me hesitating anymore. You shouldn't expect hesitation or even mercy from me, sis.
Mian must have been feeling the cold sweat on her face. Although the light was dim, I could tell she was frightened.
Okay, here I go. First, how about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as the Curse of Oishiro-sama? What's the meaning of it? Is it to signify the end of the dam conflict? I think so.
Mian sounded a little confused, but she answered. I felt satisfaction now we were communicating. I continued with a smile.
You think, huh? Don't you know the details? You know yourself that the successor is simply a messenger for Granny.
Yeah, right.
But the successor must know everything the current head is thinking, right? Do you really think I believe you just because you're a messenger? Or believe you're just a messenger? Although I'm always around Granny, I don't always know what she's thinking. It's not like I can understand her all the time. Okay, so you're saying that everything about the Curse of Oishiro-sama is decided by the hag herself, right? I assume she'd talk to the successor about it. When it's something dangerous, Granny decides it on her own. I don't have anything to do with it. But even if she decides by herself, the hag uses you to take care of various things, doesn't she? And you're telling me you don't know anything? No! She doesn't use me for that. I really don't understand it myself, but it's like I take care of problems on the surface and someone else takes care of problems on the underside. Who? Who is the one that takes care of these underside problems? I don't know. Haven't you seen anyone? Haven't you overheard a phone conversation? There must be someone who gets in touch with the hag at the same time every year, around the time the curse happens. I don't know. I really don't.
Mian shook her head.
Okay. Let me change the question. Why were Hot Photographer Son and Creepy Girlfriend Son chosen as victims, even though they had nothing to do with the dam conflict? Was it because they snuck into the ritual storehouse?
As soon as Mian heard the words ritual storehouse, her expression shifted.
The ritual storehouse? Did they intrude on the storehouse at the Furude Shrine? Didn't you know? I thought you already knew. If they really did that, then it was truly stupid of them. Of course something would happen to them.
Mian muttered bitterly while shaking her head repeatedly. Mian's reaction made me realize the true meaning of the forbidden storehouse for ritual implements. The ritual storehouse is a sacred building, so nobody can go outside. The curse would fall upon any who disobey. Any child would know that rule. However, just because they knew about it didn't mean they all believed in it. Although they were told they would be cursed, most of the other kids actually enjoyed hearing the stories. They simply didn't believe it was true. However, Mian's reaction told me it absolutely was. If they actually did that, of course something would happen to them. She was saying that if someone snuck into the ritual storehouse, that person should be killed.
What you know and what I know aren't matching up anymore. Of course I'm aware I shouldn't just waltz into those storehouse, but to be killed in such a gruesome way for doing it? I never knew that, did you? That's just because you're ignorant about it, Shion. Well, sorry for being ignorant. Oh, what? Ah! 365 bros, hey! Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing? Were you at the scouts thing? I'm sorry I couldn't go. I wanted to tonight. But I'm always doing this. It tends to be on Sundays, but I'll try to hit the next one. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to Higurashi. We're getting the last little bits of... Yep. So spoilers. This is gonna be creepy. Well, I mean, it's been creepy, but it will continue to be creepy. If you don't like any of the trigger stuff, please head out. I completely understand. But thank you again. Glad you're doing good. Hope it was fun. We're just finishing up a little bit before we stop for the night.
Yeah, we're finishing up in the torture chamber.
What? No, it's shut up. Oh, man.
Everything's
So I need
great
a
here.
shout out.
No, we just need to shh him.
Soul. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
No shout outs, only shush.
Only shush. There we go. Gotta shout out the awesomeness of Lancelot. Oh, right. This is me again. Well, sorry for being ignorant. Could you please explain it to me? Just like you said, the kids don't really believe in the curse. They assume it's just superstition. But they also know that if an adult found out, they'd be in big trouble. But to the elderly people of Hinamizawa, it's something more serious. Ah! Sick boy! Hey, thank you so much. So 4 months of subs. Holy shit. Thank you very, very much.
Level too high.
How you been? Hi. Oh, God. Why am I always in angry? I don't mean to do the angry face. It just automatically switches to that. It's too sensitive.
You say your resting angry face?
Resting angry face. It's a banshee thing, apparently. Grrr. Hot damn. Thank you very much. Let's get... Okay. See how far we can get before people need to go to sleep.
Mian explained to me how elderly people blindly believe in Oyashiro-sama, and how sacred the festivals are to them. It's probably something the younger generations would never understand, but they're possessed by a very strong, deeply rooted devotion toward Oyashiro-sama. Mian then went on to tell me about how sinful it was to violate the rule of the ritual storehouse.
Also, this is when I need to do, There we go. There you go. There you go. Proper.
I just couldn't believe things like that were still going on even in the modern day. I couldn't even reply appropriately. But even if it was unbelievable, I couldn't ignore what I was hearing from my twin sister.
I see. But Mion, doesn't the rule say that one victim gets killed by the cursed and another has to become a sacrifice? The body of the sacrifice is never to be found. But there are 2 dead bodies this time. What do you think of that?
Mion doesn't know that beside creepy girlfriend-san and hot photographer-san, Keiichi and I also snuck into the ritual storehouse. So I tried to lead her a little.
I know, that doesn't make sense. Maybe Hot Son's body wasn't, or maybe Creepy's son's body wasn't supposed to be found. Maybe the intention was for her to vanish. Or, I'm not too sure, but... What? Just say what you're thinking. I won't get mad.
Mion hesitated a little first and then started to speak.
Actually, 4 people snuck into the shrine storage, so maybe... Maybe what? Maybe the other 2 will become the sacrifices and get demoned away. Welp. We are at midway, and it is past midnight.
Yeah.
So we should let people sleep. Fuck.
Maybe.
Save. Wait, actually, let me go to the proper...
Yikes.
Thought.
Huh?
That cell is where we last see Shion. Or Shion. Air quotes, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mm.
We were told that they were, quotation, Shion.
Hmm.
Are we gonna find out that, like, it was actually a big bamboozle at the end of chapter 2? And it was
actually Neon?
Shion, and it was actually Shion who was, like, torturing Keiichi. And it was Mion who was in the cage screaming for him not to be killed.
That would
Hmm.
make sense with what we learned today, with how she's in love with him.
Yeah, and how Shion is very much still stuck on Satoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And very batshit insane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and super fucking insane. Everybody in this fucking town is insane. Absolutely
I mean,
crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just fun things that
Yep.
fun things that might happen in the future.
Fun things that might happen in the future.
You
'Cause
know,
it's going to be an everyone's been in hell
answers.
this
One
entire
more
time. I mean,
question.
technically, Hinamizawa is hell. That's been the whole story this entire time.
No, that they live beside hell.
Beside,
Hell's a
okay,
swamp.
fine. Hell is in the swamp. That's true.
Or the entrance to hell is through the swamp,
Mm-hmm. That has been the
Yeah,
entire story.
allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah,
Allegedly.
hot damn. Okay, we made it. We made it. Made it through a couple more chapters. It's getting spicy. It's getting spicy.
Spicy's one
Yeah,
way.
that's some
Yes.
fucking
She
spicy
tased her-
meatballs.
She tased her sister and an old lady.
I did not see that coming. Uh,
They both have tasers.
I mean, I was expecting that she would definitely break at one point, but I did not expect.
oh, she's a point of view character. She had to go crazy at some point.
Yeah.
But I did not expect the tasing. I don't know why she's asking Mion questions when the hag is right there. And
Well,
she
the hag's
has all these-
unconscious.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe. I
Maybe
don't know,
sleeping.
maybe the hag died from being hit with an illegally enhanced stun gun.
I wouldn't be
Who knows?
surprised.
She's also very old, so it would.
She is
make
old as
sense.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it wouldn't surprise me.
In the hide cell, speaking of Desert Bus. Yeah, it's this week. This coming week. Hot damn. That's exciting.
Oh, fucking sweet.
Desert Bus for Hope. Oh, good times. Oh, after Friday, my entire week is fucked. I mean, I'll still be streaming, but otherwise I'm gonna have my head glued to Desert Bus probably. But yeah, we made it through. Thank you again, David, Kayla, for joining me and voicing stuff. We
No
actually have had a pretty good
problem.
stride with narration and stuff this time.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, this one's nice. This
I
one's.
mean, we're already Shion's perspective, so it's
Yeah.
usually easier.
Yeah, and it's gotten like, it was actually I enjoy the fact that they're supposed to be so like impossible to tell apart. That way I can just do the same exact voice for both of them and just.
But you don't. You have a slightly different voice.
I do. I try to make it separate when they're talking to each other, but like when one is trying to be the other, I try to like keep it
Yeah.
exact. And I try to at least keep the voice itself similar. It's just like cadences between them are different.
True.
But yeah, that was fun. So are we good for next week?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, should be.
I think I should be. If not, I will let you both know ahead of time.
No
Hey.
problem.
But yeah,
No worries.
so we'll be back with this next Sunday at 9 again. Otherwise, I should be back tomorrow. We have pirates, yeah.
Yeah,
because
tomorrow's
yeah,
Pirates.
because last week I was supposed to have rehearsal, but we didn't have rehearsal because we just got back from the convention, which was pretty damn good. It was fun.
Nice.
So
We didn't get to tell the story about you being chest deep in a manhole.
yes, that is how I started my convention experience. We didn't even get to the con yet. We didn't even leave for the con yet, and I was chest deep in a manhole because that's how I fucking roll.
Because of this story, my first thought was, why did you go and put your hand through someone's heart? Then I realized that's not what that meant.
I like to think of it as a question of
Karima.
I like to think of it as a question of, man, Flint, how far down that butt are you willing to go?
Oh god. We do have a song about pegging.
Oh my god. Of course you guys do.
That's
course
not
you
me.
guys do.
That's not me.
A little bit beyond
It's a
pegging,
cover,
like
but-
heading.
That's no true fisting. Oh god. Nope. That would not be me. That ain't how I
And with
roll.
that, let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go. With that said, I'm gonna go. We're gonna leave for now. It's a quiet night. Who can we send a quick raid to? Y'all can leave if you need to. I completely understand you need to go to sleep. I am a weirdo who does not sleep. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Good
Yeah,
God.
it's late. Yep, totally.
Yep. Well, let me.
Alrighty.
It's 9.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night. And I will send y'all to what? How are you doing that as soon as we're ending the stream? Okay. Okay, I can't swear. Okay. Darn it. Well, fair enough. I'll give you back those points because we're ending, so it's not really like you can't tell. I mean, I'd be honest about it, but I don't want to do that. That's for Okay. How about I send you to my friend Herney. Super awesome, plays Higgs. I know you will, but still, you take those back. So Herney plays the awesome Higgs that I roleplay with in VR chat. He is entertaining as hell. Yeah, fair. But yeah, he is great. Send him some love for me. I don't know what he's probably going to the onsen, having some fun. So yeah, until tomorrow night for Pirates of Eualia, you all are wonderful. You all stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be. I'm a flying ace and fly through outer space. Hello, sweetie. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. I'm proud to be in whatever sitch, like singing on Twitch or playing D&D. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. You may call me obsessive, but I just border on being a collector and being a dragon that sits atop my treasure. That's so shiny. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder. And my partners love me for it. I'm a natural 20 when it comes to being me. I'm a time traveler, so Alonzi. I'm a badass, asexual, polyhedral dice holder.